Hello, and welcome to the 15th episode of Beast Fables, a role-playing game show that follows the lives of tiny beasts in a massive world. I'm Brian, and I'll be your narrator for today's game. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the founder of Dungeons on a Dime, a publishing imprint creating entry-level tabletop role-playing content. I wrote the Adventures on a Dime system, which we'll talk about in a sec, and I have some exciting projects to announce in a little bit as well. However, most importantly, I am joined today by Atlanta, Fraser, and Ver, who are three talented illustrators and delightful beasts in today's game. We're going to start with Atlanta. Could you please shout yourself out?
Hello, I am Atlanta. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Pipistrelle, our intrepid little bat who is getting herself into more and more trouble. Hello.
Fantastic. We love drama. Next up is Fraser. Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure thing. Hello, I am Fraser. I go by he, him pronouns. I am playing Lutzen today.
Yeek. And last but not least, Ver, could you please give a little hello?
Hello, my name is Ver. I use they, them pronouns, and in today's game, I am playing Balthazar of Blueberry Pond, a toad knight who has been absent from the ongoings of the last two episodes of this main chapter of Beast Fables. And I don't know what happened, and he doesn't know what happened, and I am both excited and terrified to find out.
Ooh, it's gonna be interesting. Now,
Chaos.
everyone at home can see this, but our lovely players have not yet seen the thing it's to review. Please click on your little image in our Discord. Good Discord.
Oh my god.
We've got a new chapter screen, and I've made new art for all the characters. Not new art, but like new cards and pronoun and stuff. And
Oh, that is
Wow.
Ryan, this is incredible!
I've been
Wow,
sitting on this
colorful.
since our pre-recorded sessions while I was on holiday. I was walking in the Lake District, and there's just so many like cool rock walls and plants, and yeah, so I've just taken some inspiration and updated our art a little bit. It's also an absolutely dedicated space for our subtitles from our little Google Meet chat, and also more space for the Roll20 screen and for our cool roll tables.
I'm obsessed.
This looks so good. I love that Pip is on like a little piece of like oak with the oak leaf. That's so cute.
Also, I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can. But can you read the text around Pipistrelle's Messenger Guild crest?
Oh my god.
No rain, no snow, no beast be slow.
Oh my god, that's my next tattoo.
That is so cute.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was really fun designing these.
This is so good.
I'm obsessed. I love it so much. Oh.
Oh,
Yay.
Brian, thank you. It's so good.
This is wonderful, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Thank you.
Thank
lovely
you for
little bit of joy.
Improving this furthermore, you know? Like, it was already looking great, and now it just feels so much more like, each one of us has a little thing.
And it's great because in theory I can then like put new characters in and take them out for different scenes. It'll be all like nice and simple and fun. So today we are playing with the system Adventures on a Dime. It's super simple, and I wrote it so that it can tell some exciting and simple to run stories. You can download all the rules for Adventures on a Dime for free from doad.co.uk, which is the Dungeons on a Dime website. And you can use the fully automated character sheet and all the cool extras that are on Roll20 for free as well. Just go to the marketplace and download the Adventures on a Dime pack, and it will have a like dedicated splash screen with all the rules for everyone to read. It's got all of the rules also in like dedicated handouts, and it has the fully automated character sheet with all the kind of cool clicky bitty button things. In fact, I can do what I can do. I can show you what it looks like. I'm gonna pull up Lutzen's character sheet. Ta-da! You can see that it's got names, you can roll dice, you've got stats, you've got all the skills and things you can stick in. It's just a whole bunch of fun. And talking about Roll20, they're our sponsors for today's show. They're just amazing, cool folks. Roll20 is an easy-to-use tabletop platform. It's basically the Zoom of board games. You can easily play online for free, roll dice, keep track of your campaigns, and even get digital adventures from that marketplace. You can get artwork and all sorts of cool stuff. Basically, Roll20 is awesome. We love them forever and ever and ever.
Thank you, Roll20.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, in today's chapter, Chapter 9, and it is our 15th episode because we've done like other naming conventions, but it's Chapter 9 today, we are rejoining the charismatic toad, Balthazar. We're going to be starting the story with our knight from the Blueberry Pond. So I'm going to hand over to Ver to recap what Balthazar last experienced.
Yes. Balthazar and Pipistrelle had been on their way to Odok, Balthazar taking it upon himself to escort the injured Pipistrelle by paw rather than her usual method of flight, all the way to Odok. And they had made their way to Willowmoot. It is in Willowmoot that they spoke with a rat craftpaw by the name of Grimble. As on their journey to Willowmoot, they discovered the presence of some kind of perhaps strange contraption that they were quite curious about, and then they found out that the craftpaws seemed to have had lost or something happened with such a strange contraption. So they contacted this craftpaw, Grimble, spoke with her, and she told them that indeed one of their engineers has gone missing, presumably, I think, with this iron beetle that Balthazar was adamant about calling a car, a coal-accelerated rig.
Oh, that was it. I couldn't remember what you described it as, but yes, coal-accelerated rig.
Because Balthazar and Pip are helpful individuals and quite curious, they said that they will go recover Lutzen and this contraption. They underwent a winding road of trying to track this thing, as it seemed to have been spiraling out of control, and finally they happened upon a strange scene, a squirrel and three what kind of, can you remind me the name of the birds? There were something tits. I don't remember.
Meadow Song, Meadow Sweet, and Crier.
No, the species of them. They were like
they were coal tits.
Coal tits, yeah.
Who were well known for singing and for performing in groups.
Yes, yeah. So we encounter Balthazar and Pipistrelle encountered this squirrel and these three birds, songbirds, and they told us a tale of being a traveling troupe of performers, and that they were kidnapped by a bunch of otters who piled in on this strange contraption and were trying to drive away. And our characters, well, I mean, Pipistrelle was not really trusting this. Balthazar asked some questions such as, how did 5 otters manage to fit in this thing? And the squirrel was like, I don't know, they just did. And there's a reason that Balthazar has a 1d4 in cunning, so he's just like, well, that checks out. Ultimately, they, after speaking with them, they also found out that the rat Lutzen, who we've been seeking, this engineer from the Craftpaws, had stepped away to find some means of repairing this coal-accelerated rig, this car, if you will. And Balthazar said that he will escort these 3 songbirds to Willowmoot, while Pipistrelle said that she will wait with the squirrel in order to intercept Lutzen when he'll come back, so he doesn't come back and everybody's gone. Balthazar set out on the road to Willowmoot, followed by these songbirds. They all sung a lovely tune as he what is it called? Like drummed a beat on his armor. They had a very merry time. He was very happy about it, building some rapport. And then we got to Willowmoot, and the birds were they didn't really want to go further. They were saying, oh, let's wait for, I forget the name of the squirrel, but let's wait for our friend
Chipper.
here. And Chipper, yeah. And Balthazar was like, no, nonsense, let's go. The inn's right over there. And after a moment of kind of this strange behavior from them, they all, in a flutter of wings, decided to ascend into the air and started flying back in the direction that we had just come from. Balthazar did manage to use his kind of lashing, amphibian tongue to grab one of these birds and bring it back down, stop it from taking flight, and he managed to intimidate this creature into telling him, or into basically revealing its true intentions, as these are apparently some manner of scoundrels who are wanting to take advantage of the situation, and they never intended to be your friends or be cooperative. And I think the last thing that Balthazar heard was not a threat, but the implication of danger to Pipistrelle herself.
Yes, so that's where we're going to pick back up. The sun is getting closer and closer to the horizon. Warm orange summer light bathes the whole of Willowmoot and the meadows that you can see around you. You see the shifting, flapping forms of the two cultits, Meadowsong and Crier, just zipping into the distance, and you have a stubborn Merry Sweet underfoot. Mm-hmm. Balthazar, what do you do?
God, I should have thought about this, but now my head is completely empty.
Head empty, thoughts gone.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the same thing for Balthazar. He is now just like pure instinct, and the need to protect his friend is going to be his sole kind of like prime objective. And I think he's like, as a what was a Meadowsong was underfoot.
Merry Sweet.
Merry Sweet. If he's like stepping down on Merry Sweet's wing or something, he will look up at the birds that are floating away in the distance, because he had taken out his hammer, his war hammer, to kind of intimidate this creature. And he grabs the hammer and looks at Merry Sweet, but doesn't say a further word, as he kind of like stows it back on his back, or kind of straps it back, and he's just gonna go into a sprint. Because he's not wearing his armor today. He has it as like a bundle, so he's probably a little bit more. Gosh, I can't remember why he wasn't wearing his armor. Was it
you were injured from your encounter? Right.
And
you were still recovering, so you decided, because you're just going out hiking, that you weren't going to wear your armor.
Yeah. So I think he's going to start running. Like he's gonna leave Merry Sweet. If Merry Sweet wants to fly off or whatever else, that is, he doesn't care, because even if Merry Sweet does end up like joining the others, he can take him. Doesn't care. What he cares about now is getting back to Pipistrelle. So he's gonna, just turn 180 from Willowmoot back in the direction that he came from and start running. And I think like halfway through the run, if he's just gonna pause for a moment to kind of take a breather, he's gonna put the armor on. Okay. Because battle mode is engaged. The battle toad is here.
Battle toad. Cool. I think this is a good moment to, on our little Roll20 screen, I'm just going to scroll back up and remind everyone that all of your bearings are virtuous. We're using I'm now naming it and announcing it, it's the Vice and Virtue bolt-on system. you all have virtuous bearings with the auto other success boon. Essentially, you can choose for another creature at any point until the end of the next scene to either automatically success or fail on a check they're making. If you do this, you have to give a kind of a narrative reason how you could have helped. So maybe like a moment that you would have given them advice, or some kind of prep you would have done to have like set them up to fail, or kind of somehow helped that other person in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very interesting that you're all virtuous, because we've been kind of playing with this system in beta back and forth. And you guys have been going between like virtue, neutral, and vice. Very like back and forth. It's interesting you're all now virtuous. But yes, so you start to sprint off towards this space. Now it was a good 3-hour walk at a slow, leisurely pace towards Willowmute, uphill.
We were chilling.
Now you're running downhill back towards this this goal in mind. You've now walked this path almost twice, so you know it very well. Describe what the sprinting looks like. Describe Balthazar for me.
It is very much it's like a Terminator run. If a toad could do it, or the toad equivalent of like the Terminator run, just poof, 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 poof. But it is very much sustained by like that feeling of immediate of wanting to provide like this aid and help. It comes from a place of loyalty and friendship. Like he's spurred on more by his feelings than he is like it's like a kind of fight or flight, but the fight is like fight for your friend kind of instinct that is right now taking charge. And he is absolutely willing to push himself because he's very worried for Pip. You know, she's injured. She was left with these scoundrels that are very likely going to make it back before he does because they're flyers. But he also like counts on, you know, Pip being smart and being able to stall or get back, but he just really wants to get back to her right now because he just doesn't know what's happening and he doesn't think that she's safe and he wants to help. Yeah.
That is very sensible. So I would like you, it sounds like you're being consistent, tough, you're just pushing on. I think you should do
just vigor or
a vigor check for me.
Okay. Actually, I wonder because if it's like kind of downhill and he is, I imagine he's doing like the Terminator run, the but then if it's kind of downhill, he's gonna like propel himself forward.
Start streaming. Let's see how this goes.
So did we lose much or?
When I said pause, that's when I stopped stream. Now we're back. Okay. I hope people can see us.
Hear us. I'm gonna reload the stream.
I have the stream up and we seem to be moving.
Yes.
It seems to still be picking up stuff.
Okay. Amazing. Sorry about that slight hitch there. YouTube was telling me that the stream was not having fun, so I've downgraded the quality back down to regular 720p. I did a dab, but no one could see it. And to recap, Balthazar was telling us about the dedication that he was feeling charging off towards Pipistrelle.
Yeah.
So you go to put your armor on. Armor is very difficult to put on in a hurry, when you're out of breath, and on your own.
Heck, you're not wrong.
So describe the process of trying to buckle up the armor. You pause, like, oh crap, I'm gonna be in a fight. I have to buckle, I have to do this. Describe that for me.
Oh my god, very bumbling. Very like, you know, I don't remember all the straps go at this moment. But I think, well, actually, you know what? Because he's good at taking care of equipment, so the way that he has folded up the armor would be fairly, like, straightforward, you know, slam it down, take off the kind of front plate, and everything's folded inside neatly. And I think it's very much like going through those motions of... I think it's almost like a slightly meditative moment of getting ready for battle, where first of all, he gets a little bit of a breather from all the running. He has a moment to kind of pause and orient himself. Perhaps he has stopped previously when Pipistrelle and I were searching for the coal-accelerated rig. We had stopped by a large boulder that Pipistrelle scrambled on top of. Oh no, sorry, Balthazar scrambled on top of, and then could see the
tracks that it had left.
Yeah. So I imagine maybe he stopped at this place as like an orientation point, and as he's just kind of looking around, being like, okay, I'm gonna have to go probably here. He's taking a breather, and he's gonna very meticulously kind of put that armor on, as almost like a meditative kind of moment of taking a knee, almost, silencing yourself, stilling yourself, getting ready for what is to come.
Yeah.
And getting rid of maybe a little bit of that frantic kind of panicked adrenaline, and getting more in the mindset of, I am a knight, I'm gonna go in, and whatever I have to do to help my friend, I will. But he's also not going to be coming in like, rah! Just out of run. And I think there's a moment of stilling himself that is part of both like a chivalrous kind of etiquette or the kind of things that he has been taught by his mentor, and also over the course of his however significant or insignificant contributions to the Boer Wars. So it's a moment of stillness, but also preparation, so he's better equipped to go in there.
I want you to make a vigor check for me to see how well you put on the armor.
Once again, could I kindly tag my taking care of equipment, as I would have it prepared in a way that is like all the straps are, they're not going to get tangled. I know which ones go where. They're color coded. He has little.
That sounds appropriate. Sure.
Thread, green to green, blue to blue.
And
To help
see
himself
color?
along. I hope he can.
I would love it if they're color coded, but he can't see.
That actually would be funnier. He had succeeded. The color codes, all the grays match.
Oh my god.
Okay. That's a success. You are able to put your armor back on. And I'm going to say that you're having thoughts about... You have like in the back of your head, you can almost hear Lavinia's voice instructing you. And again, it's that sort of meditative calm of... Right, green to green, blue to blue. On this plate, need to have the padding in this place, need to, move this to here. And also the instructions you have about combat, about needing to be in the moment and focused on your task above all else, and not being distracted by outside worries and anxieties. And you feel that this is the training that Lavinia, your mentor, had really been instilling in you. It wasn't the Boer Wars, it wasn't being her squire, it was a moment like this that you really need to have all of these skills invested.
You guys are going to make me cry.
You then start to charge off again, and it's been maybe half an hour of steady jogging and running downhill. You start to get closer towards the site, and I don't think toads have the best olfactory senses, but they can smell, presumably.
Yes, they can.
Yes.
They're not like a dog, but they can smell. You start to smell, or in fact, you start to feel the dryness of the air over your skin. It's been a very sweaty day and baking sun to begin with, but you feel a change in the atmosphere. And you pause for a second, breathing heavily, and breathe in, and you smell smoke. Just the gentle, ever-present smell of it. Not like you've walked in front of a campfire, just a general... Everything smells of smoke.
well, he thinks, coal accelerated rig, coal, fire, and imagines that maybe something happened to the car, which maybe shenanigans occurred. Oh, was it that scoundrel of a squirrel set the car on fire to hurt Pipistrelle, yeah, he's undaunted by the thought of fire, but I think this just makes him more anxious, but also probably is going to be easier to spot where he has to go if there's some manner of flame or smoke. So he's gonna see if he can gather his bearings and see smoke billowing anywhere on the horizon that he can go in the direction of.
Make a cunning check for me to try and orientate yourself.
You know I can't. You know I can't do it.
It is not allowed.
Can I? Wait, this is an iron beetle. Can I tag my beetle handling? It's actually a driving skill. We just never knew.
It's not quite the energy of that. That's more animal intuition.
Y'all, I'm gonna fail this. I'm gonna fail this, and I feel it's gonna be a hijinks. I just know it. Oh my god!
Oh no.
No, that's a crit!
Oh my god.
I crit!
That's a critical success.
Oh, thank God.
I think this is Balthazar's first crit on a cunning check, which is the only way he can succeed.
Praise.
It's either he has a stroke of genius or his eyes like glaze over and look in different directions.
Oh, I was holding my breath. I had my arms crossed, my fingers crossed. Jesus!
I'm so sorry for being so loud, but oh my god.
It's worth it. You pause, you look, you kind of, I think you're near that rock, the rock that you had climbed up on before, and you're used to now that you know the best place to put your kind of your sticky paws and lash with your tongue, you manage to scramble your way back up to the boulder, and you look across the horizon, and you see in the distance a glowing red light over the horizon of, say, brush and meadow, and a general blackening of the quite dark blue sky now. It's getting very close to sunset. And you pause. You're about to jump off and run towards the glow, and then you pivot maybe 10 degrees, and you hear the scraping of stone and the gnashing of metal, gentle and faint in the distance, similar to the sounds of the machinery you heard, more wooden though, at Bramble Dam when you very first left on your journey. The craftables there seem to be constructing some strange machine out of wooden cogs. So you hear this machinery, but more metallic. It's not where the red glow is.
I just imagine there's this moment when he looks at the red glow, and with the darkening sky, he's standing on this rock, kind of silhouetted, like dark at this point, but those amber eyes of his reflect that red glow in like an almost menacing red way, and he would reach for his, hammer and kind of grab it, and have that intention of, I have to go there, and then he hears the clicking and clacking, and he remembers that, wait, they were gonna wait for Lutzen. If there's clicking and clacking, it's probably Lutzen. And maybe hoping that, if there's a craft paw, then surely Pipistrelle would have gone with him. And if it's not the craft paw, maybe the squirrel got away. And then he would kind of grip his warhammer and say, well, he'll get some answers out of that squirrel then. And he's gonna do like a cool Mega Man wall kind of, what is it called? I forget the name.
Jump,
just kinda,
leap?
No, that kind of thing where he has like one hand on the side of the boulder and he's kind of like going
Slide.
down it.
Like a wall slide. Yeah.
Wall slide, there we go.
Wall
Sorry,
slide.
sometimes the English language just escapes my brain. Yeah, he does like a cool wall slide. Actually, probably using that warhammer as kind of leverage. And wherever it is that he heard that clicking and whatever that kind of craft paw noise is, that's where he will go. Because surely nobody would sit around like a suspicious fire. Like, this isn't a campfire. This is some kind of horrible bad time. So he's gonna go towards what he had heard.
Okay. Now this is a chance for everyone to chip in. We are going to be choosing a fortune for the coming scene.
Oy, oy, oy.
There are 3 fortunes, which I will write down in the Roll20 chat now. Why am I typing them out? I have them already pre-written. I can just copy them over. Because I'm brilliant. So your 3 fortunes... Hang on, I'm just going to get the third one. I have a little Google Sheets with them in. Your 3 fortunes are... Horse, their cries filled the night. Your second fortune is... A bounty at great cost.
Oh,
And then your third
God.
fortune is... Stamped out.
Oh my god.
I don't like any of these.
Yeah,
Please
these are
discuss which fortunes you feel are relevant, could be interesting, and what you'd like to pick. This is the reading of fortunes, a main facet of the Vice and Virtue system, and what I feel is my crowning jewel. That's the most exciting part of running it.
Well, if I have anything to say about it, the horse cries filling the night will be those goddamn birds.
Balthazar wants revenge. Virtuous no more. Oh man.
Oh, 'cause-
I'm personally drawn to the bounty at great cost because I think like the risk reward thing is always fun. But that's just me.
Very true, because I, again, without giving away too much of the hijinks that Lutzen and Pip got into for verse sake,
Oh god.
Horse, their cries filled the night, fills me with just an
Dread.
unbelievable amount of dread.
Let's go with that one.
No!
Well, you know, I don't know. I'm between those 2, I think.
I mean, we already have Ver's vote, and
oh no, I was.
I think
kind of-
it's.
I was.
Mm.
I was. I mean, okay, no. Out of all of these, I do think that one's the coolest and like the most terrifying way.
Yeah.
But I feel like it might not be Balthazar's horse voice crying in the night, you know. So it's easy for me to say.
It's just a toad going. Meh.
It certainly feels like the one that is like the most loaded, and to be fair, I suppose like, you know, like Fraser, like it could apply to us kind of maybe, but also like could also apply in Balthazar's situation as well.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. It could be. I'm trying to like think it through a little bit, and I'm like, it could be us. It could also not be us.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know what's better or worse. I don't know. Either is a good one. I think between the bounty at great cost and the horse, I think they both have similar energies.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm gonna put my money on Horse, their cries filled the night, just because
yeah, let's go with it.
like the imagery that evokes for me. I'm like, that's cool, but also like I'm
Yeah.
scared. Like I'm real scared right now.
That's like highest risk reward kind of in my.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'm just a sucker for like these extremely metal sounding
Oh, yeah.
prophecies that Brian puts in front of us. Like I had one for Greer that was like into something. I forget the full like title, but basically the second leg of it was like into death's domain, and I'm just
Oh my
like,
God,
of
yes.
course I'm gonna go for that one.
Yep. This could be the starts of like an EP, you know.
Yeah.
Like these could be the if we had our own album of our EP, these would be the music tracks.
Yep.
Beast
So-
EPs.
Beast EP. I like
Beast.
let's go with horse. Horse their cries filled the night because that's
Hmm.
oof.
Okay. So, the narrative camera shifts rapidly forward through the dry grass, like tinder in the breeze, to the clearing in which we find the first chapter image of this adventure, which you will have seen when you kind of clicked on this video. We see, fallen down before the groaning, creaking might of an iron beetle under Chipper's paws, we find Lutzen and Pipistrelle considering what to do next. Who would like to summarize very quickly what happened the last couple sessions?
I don't think I can even remember all the details. There was so much that.
I will. Okay, I will do my best to kind of quickly summarize what we went through. So, Pip and Lutzen met under hilarious circumstances. We had a little travel through the woods, which involved a catapult, which was hilarious,
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything was all fun and fancy free. And we were making our way back to the clearing with the car, to fix it. We heard it getting started up, and we sort of rushed as quickly as we can towards it, and we find Chipper trying to start it up. We stop her for the time being, and then definitely more hijinks ensue. But there was definitely an incident with a log that was not a log.
Mhm.
It actually turned out to be a massive goddamn grass snake, which we knew we would run into eventually in the meadows. And we got lucky. Neither of us got bitten. Neither of us got eaten. But Lutzen did use something to magnify the light
To distract him.
to distract the snake. And to be fair, it worked because the snake ran away. But then, oopsie daisy. This is a very dry meadow in the height of summer.
Yep.
And wildfires do happen. So we're now kind of in the accidental mess that we created by trying to scare away a grass snake. Whoops!
Yeah, so welcome to that, Ver.
Yeah. We done goofed a little bit.
I'm moisture sensitive.
Oh no!
My skin.
Oh no!
Things are about to get very interesting.
I'm gonna
You
be
look
sizzling
before you. You see there are two birds perched on the top of the beetle. Half of the legs, the left side of its legs, are creaking and grating across the ground as it tries to get up. You see a tuft of red fur inside and hear the voices of these three: Chipper, Meadow Sweet, Meadow Song, and Crier, arguing with each other. Crier looks up and spots that you've entered the sort of the clearing where the metal beetle was, and cries
So
out.
is it me or Balthazar?
No, not Balthazar. I did
No.
say Balthazar. I didn't mean to.
No, you just said you, which is why I thought it was maybe
No, I meant
sorry.
I meant Lutzen and Pipistrelle.
Really
Hear Crier call out, they're back, boss, they're back! And inside, muffled by the groaning creaking of the metal, you hear, I can't, someone come here and pull this, and one of the iron legs, seemingly by accident, shoots out at its full length towards you two.
Oh
Oh
god!
my god.
What do you do?
Oh god.
Oh my god, I think Lutzen would try and like spin around and use his beetle shell to try and like block some of it in front of Pipistrelle.
Oh my god! I think in doing that, I think Pip would have instinctively, if the leg is kicking out, grabbed Lutzen and like pulled him to the floor to like like hide underneath the leg as it kicks out.
Okay. I would like one of you to make a cunning check, because you're both trying to use the environment or tools that you have to avoid danger.
Okay.
Or I want both of you to make a roll, and whoever rolls highest will go with their plan.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Okay, let's go. Oh! Okay.
Let's go with Lutzen.
Let's go with
Yes, we'll go with Lutzen's plan. With the critical success, you do better than expected. The narrator describes how things go in your favor. The leg kicks out. You are grabbed by Pipistrelle to go down. The leg, as you turn, kicks the chestnut, the dried, cured chestnut shell of your backpack, and sends you both spinning backwards into some stems of grass that break your fall. You're sort of dizzy, but you're not at all hurt. You're now out of the range of the leg, but you see that it has left a massive groove in the earth, and a jet of black coal gas and steam escapes the crunched spout of this beetle's head. It lets out a painful
Oh
Oh my god.
of noise. One of the back legs on the right side starts to against the rock and sending sparks into the dull earth. What do you guys do?
Oh
my
god.
Lutzen's reaction would just be like, oh, my beetle's never done this before.
Oh, I think
They don't know what they're doing.
I think Pip would sort of turn to Lutzen and is like, do you know how can we stop it? How do we kill it?
I would really prefer not to kill it, but we would have to get inside to stop it.
Is there nothing from the outside that we can like pull? Like a gear or something, a lever that we could pull to stop it from moving?
So, Lutzen, you made this beetle. So if there were to be some weakness, what would it be?
I think if there's to be a weakness, it would probably be like the legs are quite thin. So either like pulling the legs out to flatten it, so it's like a spider on ice kind of thing, or pulling the legs off. But I feel like Lutzen would know how they attach and detach. Like I imagine they're like a kind of ball joint, kind of like a shoulder or something like that.
Yeah.
You could just like pop them out and like pull them off. Which sounds
This
horrible.
beetle was made for walking. It wasn't made for having its legs pulled off. So essentially, its weakness are the joints at the base of where the leg connects with the beetle. We have a handy drawing here, so I'm just gonna do a little click. But you see here where the leg connects to the undercarriage. Those have weak ball-bearing joints that, if struck at the right angle, will cause the leg to fall off. And that you hadn't quite repaired them and covered them as you intended to, because the beetle was stolen before you could finish repairs.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
would it be possible? Like, do we have to destroy all of the legs, or can we just get away with destroying like one or two?
I feel like one or two
at
the front or something, or like the front would it would be top heavy or nose heavy or something. It would tip forwards. Yeah, like I guess I would know. I imagine that the head has more of the like inner workings, so it'd be more front heavy.
Yeah.
The head is the coal generator. That's the engine.
So I
that's
imagine
where
that
all
the
of the
front one
pressure
would
and the
be
steam that
stabilizing
operates the
it.
hydraulics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh lord.
So having communicated this, it's taken time to be like, oh, we have to do this and this and this, and oh, what about the head? Oh, you notice there's more groaning. You look up. One of the coal tits has gone in through one of the open windows of the beetle. The other is still on top, and they're all yelling at each other. The one on top is saying, "No, the bowl, boss, get out on the bowl. It rolls." And you hear inside again that strained, angry voice going, "Damn the bowl! I don't care!" And the beetle is scraping. It is now shakily standing up.
Oh god. Okay, we need to make a decision like now and stop this beetle. Lutzen, you are the expert here. I think whatever you think is best to try and stop this beetle, we should do that.
I feel seeing the beetle they're starting to get the hang of it. Lutzen is going to take his wrench and just kind of charge it in and try and like knock one of the legs out from underneath it.
Okay, describe what that looks like.
Lutzen will kind of like calculatedly kind of like take a glance at a couple different angles, grab the wrench from behind his back, and just rush in and kind of like slide along the ground and try and knock a leg out from underneath it. Very like Marvel superhero, but
that sounds
not his vibe.
That sounds like a vigor check to me.
Absolutely.
You're not necessarily being strategic about how you're using the land. You're not trying to goad, and it's not necessarily willpower either. I think this is most vigor. So if you could do a vigor check for me.
I'd be able to tag my honestly, like either structural engineering, eye for detail, or beetle aficionado.
I feel like any of the three. You made this beetle, so you could tag those to try and strike it. Yes.
Okay, right. So it's a double roll. So we'll do one there and one there. Wait, let's take the 4, please.
So you've got a success. You run forward. The beetle is shakily kind of starting to move. It hasn't yet. They don't seem to have gotten full control of it, and so you run forward. You leap with your wrench and you smack at one of the ball bearings. We're gonna say, which leg do you strike?
I would say one of the like the front, like right or left, whichever orientation it's facing.
Okay.
Like just one of the front ones.
One of the front ones. We'll say front left. I'm gonna make a little note of the legs.
I was gonna say, do we draw like a little fake beetle?
If someone wants to draw a fake beetle from top down for me, that's cool. But I'm just gonna make a mark.
Oh yeah, that works.
You strike the front left, you lunge and hit, and there is a resounding dong as you thud and strike it, and it doesn't come loose. You feel the reverberation, just the numbness stretch down your arms from striking something so solid and metal. And then you've kind of come down onto your paws again, and you're underneath the beetle as it starts to clack and shift. Above, one of the birds says, no, that one didn't work. Do the other one. And suddenly, you hear a familiar sound. It's the docking procedure. It's a combination of levers. The beetle is going to go down.
Oh no.
Oh my god!
What do you do?
I would say he'd roll out the way, but he's got a big shell on his back and everything. I think he would just instinctively just try and hug the wrench or something to try and block it, or no, he'd put the wrench up kind of to jam underneath it and try and keep it standing, if that makes sense.
Okay, make a cunning check. You're trying to kind of maneuver the wrench into a good place where it will sit and stand.
Yeah.
Is that a success? The beetle suddenly just goes down. You hear the of all of the hydraulics releasing pressure, and the beetle just completely falling down on top of you. You position the wrench such that the beetle falls down, and you hit one of the axles with the wrench, and there's as it's kind of rolling in the socket of your wrench. The wrench bends but doesn't break. And then there's as the beetle stands up again. Pipistrelle, what are you doing?
I think, Pip has no idea how this beetle works, but I think, watching Lutzen go underneath it, I think, oh god, I think I haven't got a weapon, I haven't got anything. I think she's just gonna try and run to where the two birds are and try and distract them and try at the very least get them out of the way so they can't help Chipper.
Mm-hmm. So what would that look like?
I think after Lutzen ran towards the beetle and sort of slid underneath it, I think what she would do is she would have followed along, and with her very sort of scurrying little bat body, she would have crawled up onto the back of the beetle to try and I don't know, tussle with one of the birds, I guess, try and get them out of the way so Lutzen can maybe do whatever he needs to do, break a leg of one of the break one of the beetle's legs, or get this thing to stop.
Okay, so this sounds like it's multiple steps to get to that point. The first is getting to the rock. The second would be climbing on top of the rock, and the third would be jumping onto the beetle.
Yes.
It's impossible to get to the beetle from the ground. It's too high up and too shifting.
That's fair.
So describe what it looks like for you to go to the rock. The large rock that it had crashed into, that it is scraped against right now.
To the best of her ability, I think Pip would run. She would run straight over to the rock and kind of wouldn't really be looking anywhere else. She would be get to the rock, climb the rock, climb the rock. And then, climbing up the rock would be, she's a bat, she's a relatively good climber. So it would be just as quickly as possible, to the best.
So it sounds, we'll start with just getting to the rock. That sounds like a willpower check to me. Just to sort of your vision narrows, you focus, you've got your goal, you just go.
Can I tag my staying alert? Because she's obviously, this is a very chaotic scene, but she's still got, she's still a very sort of auditory sensitive animal. She's still very aware of she can hear Chipper in the cabin, she can hear the birds yelling, she'll be able to hear the fire soon, and Lutzen doing whatever Lutzen is doing underneath the beetle, she'll be kind of very aware of everything around her right now in kind of absolute panic mode.
I'll let you tag that for advantage.
Thank you. Oh, okay.
That was a 6 and a 1. So as opposed to the hijinks, we're going to go with the success, I'm guessing.
My God. Yes, please.
So, you the beetle is now kind of turning around with the legs stabbing into the ground. One of them lashes out, seemingly accidentally, unbalanced towards you. You dip inwards underneath, around the leg, and then back out from underneath the beetle, round towards the rock. Lutzen, what are you doing right now?
So you said the wrench is kind of stuck under there and bent, right? Or is it bent the axle?
So it's no longer stuck underneath there, because the beetle dropped down on you, bent the wrench, and then went back up. It didn't hurt you, but now you have a very bent wrench.
Okay, that's fine. He will kind of use the wrench to kind of propel himself out from underneath it, just as like a kind of crutch. Get out from underneath it and try and take out the other front leg.
So, just so you know, the first front leg isn't taken out. You smacked it, but it didn't break it.
Oh, okay. In that case, he will, just try and take out that first front leg then, in a way that is not going to fully like destroy it, if he can, but just kind of disable it.
Well, essentially, you have to break the ball bearing out. It won't permanently break it. It just requires fixing, but it would take the leg off. Yeah,
that's fine. As long as he's not just destroying it completely.
Yeah.
But yes, I would like to do that.
Okay, so that's going to be a vigor check again. You have disadvantage because your wrench is bent. You don't have as much reach or as much leverage as you had before.
Okay, can I tag the structural engineering again to know where the right place would be to hit, despite having a kind of broken wrench or a not as useful wrench?
I would say yes. You're able to sort of quickly do the math in your head to realize what leverage you would need to do to use this broken wrench or this bent wrench to get the same effect. I'd say you just have a straight roll.
That's fine. Okay, so just vigor. Whoa. Okay.
Okay, so you rolled a 5, a success. You do as well as you can. Then I have to describe how successful you are. You put the wrench in, and then leverage. You just push up, and there's a and a gonk as the ball bearing falls out of the leg.
Cool.
The leg stays there, hung for a second before collapsing onto the ground. The beetle then lurches forward. All of the legs now trying to stabilize it and moving forward. The front left leg has fallen off. The beetle lurches away from the rock forward, scrabbles around, and then there's the slow turning as it back towards you. And in the front window, you see a sweat-drenched, kind of blackened, coal-stained chipper looking angrily at you. And she starts to operate levers, and you recognize them as leg operations. You see that one of the cultists is inside operating another lever, which is the steam release, which normally you'd be operating with your tail. And the beetle starts to lurch forward, and the front right leg starts to jab at you and stab at the ground where you are.
Oh no!
What do you do?
I guess he just would try and dodge out of the way. There's not really much he can do apart from that.
So this is going to be a contested vigor check.
Okay.
So I would say if you're trying to dodge out of the way, that sounds like cunning to me.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to see what I can tag.
So I roll a O.
Oh, fuck.
I roll a die, and you roll a die. I rolled a 12 and a D12, because this is a mechanical beetle.
I only have a D8, so it's only going to go one of a couple ways.
So it stabs forward, and essentially the beetle, if operated correctly, can be very fast. It's got pressure of a whole coal engine behind it. Black smoke starts to emerge from the horn, and the first jab misses you. The second jab almost catches you. The third jab flicks you off. It just kicks you full off into the grass. You take vigor damage from being smacked by this leg.
Uh-huh. What does that mean? Oh, that means I go down a dice, right?
Yeah, you go down a die size.
For vigor?
A question.
Yes.
I'm on D4.
I have a very quick question. Our virtue and vice, can we use it after seeing the result?
Oh my god. I forgot
Not
about
after.
that.
If you see that someone has rolled low, so if you hit if there's there's a hijinks, or if someone's rolled poorly, you can be like, actually I cancel that, but once I've described it, it's happened.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay,
I
good.
completely forgot, but thank you for reminding me, Ver.
No, because I was thinking of negating the 12, but I guess it's been already described. I just didn't know when I can chime in, but I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah. So,
Lord.
Balthazar, to you are running through the grass, you hear the crunching and grinding of metal on stone, and then suddenly above you, you see a dark shape flying through the air towards you. What do you do?
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Wait, what? A dark shape flies towards
It's
me?
rapidly getting bigger.
It's me.
Is it like a bird? Or like, do I see...
I'm gonna say, you pause, you're like, is that a bird? Is that a plane? Oh no, it's
Is
a
it
rat!
bird? Is it a hawk?
Yeah, do I hear like a... Ah!
Yeah, you realize it's getting much closer. There's the squeak of... it's getting closer.
I catch it.
You catch it. That's a vigor check, please. You throw out your arms.
Catch that rat.
Rat that.
Rat catch.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
rat
success.
catch.
Lutzen, you fly through the air and then land against something hard, but it stops your fall. You look up and you are like Fireman Carrie in the arms of this very aggressive-looking, yellow-eyed toad.
Oh, hello. Thank you.
Balthazar just kind of like pauses for a moment, and says, "Have you seen Pipistrelle?"
Oh, yes, I know, Pip. But if you excuse me, I need to get back to my beetle. It's going a bit crazy.
Wait, where's Pipistrelle?
Follow me, follow me.
He's still holding you. He just says, "Point."
Oh, never mind. That way. We'll
Yeah,
point to the distance.
he runs with Lutzen in his arms.
You both enter back into the scene to see Pipistrelle starting to climb a rock. Pipistrelle, describe the climbing process for me.
She is terrified. She is sweaty, but this is absolutely 100% instinctive. She is digging her claws into this rock. She is gripping with all her might. She is she is determined to climb this rock so she has enough room to be able to jump onto this sodding beetle.
I'm going to say this sounds like another willpower check. You are going as fast as you can just by sheer willpower. This isn't the same as climbing the tree earlier of this day. You have to be up this rock.
Yep. Oh god. No.
That is a complication.
Before you say what happens, because we can do this, right? Before you say how it
Yep,
resolves.
you have chimed in.
Oh my god.
Pipistrelle, you hear Pipistrelle! You hear Balthazar's voice yelling towards you, and you have the willpower to clamber up.
Oh my god, yes. Power of Balthazar's yells.
You don't know if you're hallucinating or if it's real, but you just feel the presence of this boisterous toad in front of you, and you just push that final bit up. You, instead of a complication, succeed. You scramble up to the top of this rock, you have your balance, and you see that the beetle is close enough that you could jump. It kind of lurched away to kick Lutzen and seems to have lurched back to the rock, almost to rest itself against it for stability. Describe what you do next.
Okay, in this, I guess, as the beetle is leaning against this rock, in Pip's mind, she thinks, this is the best chance I'm going to have to be able to jump onto this thing. So she goes over to, the edge of the rock furthest away from the beetle. She shakes her little arms a little bit and is like, okay. And then she will sprint full pelt to the edge of the rock where she has to jump onto the beetle.
1 step, 2 steps, leap. Do you spread out your wings?
Yes.
You spread out your wings. I want you to make a cunning check for me.
Oh god. Okay.
Can you
please.
tag your flyer feature or something? Do you have flying?
No, I can't fly yet, but something I did in a previous session was I did try to glide. It went spectacularly wrong, so in her mind she's like, don't mess it up this time, as she leaps and spreads her wings. Yes!
Yes!
You have learnt from your previous attempt. You inspect the twinging in your broken or bruised arm, you spread out your wings and put more of the weight onto your right wing, and you stretch and you glide down onto the beetle and land with a clang. One of the birds, Crier, looks up at you and goes, boss, got a problem.
Oh God!
Balthazar and Lutzen, you run back into the scene. You see gouges in the earth, you see rocks that have been kicked away, and you see Pipistrelle fly onto the beetle, land on all fours, look up, and you see a angry cultit start to try and peck her.
Well, Balthazar is going. He has Lutzen in his hands. He sees Pipistrelle in danger. He's gonna say, "Help, Pip!" and he's gonna throw Lutzen.
Oh my god!
At the bird.
Walton was gonna say, "Look at my friend! Go get it! Go get him!" And go get him! Ah!
Yeah.
You're like, "Go on, Pipistrelle!" and you realise, Lutzen, as you fly through, you're like, "Oh, I'm getting them." I want you to make a strength check, Balthazar, at disadvantage. Lutzen is almost as big as you,
Okay.
if not bigger.
Lutzen will be bigger than him.
Remember, well, but I'm a very strong, sturdy boy. And I have.
And
I have
you
the
are
power
also
of
wearing
God
armor,
anime
which
on
is
my
extra
side.
weight against you. So
Yes, it's true. If anyone wants to help me out, if I really fuck this one up majorly, remember you can.
You know what? No, I will use mine. You succeed.
Can I roll just in case to see?
yeah,
if it
you
clicks?
should roll
Okay.
just in case.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'd have to roll 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would have succeeded anyway, so no worries.
So
it was meant
Lutzen's
to
like,
be.
"Are you sure? Do you want me to?" And you're like, "No!" And you do like a hammer toss. You just spin round and then just launch Lutzen up. Lutzen, you're like, "Should we handspring or..." "Oh, okay, here we go." Describe your landing onto the top of the beetle.
Oh my god. Okay.
As a note, Balthazar was aiming for Lutzen to basically like hit the cultit.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
He had something in his hands to throw at the cultit, and it happened to be Lutzen.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like Lutzen would be. I feel like this is
So-
like not in his forte whatsoever.
I would change this. If you're being used as a weapon, you have disadvantage on this check. It's going to be difficult to try and land on this, but we'll see what happens next.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, we'll see what happens.
Wait, am I rolling? Sorry.
Yeah, so you're making a check to describe how you land onto this beetle, because it's going to be difficult.
I was gonna say, I don't know if he's gonna try and even land. I feel he's just gonna freak out because he's never really been like up in the air. So he's gonna like arms just going everywhere, and maybe kind of starts like twisting in the air, and maybe the shell like kind of hits the cultit.
Ooh, that could work.
I'm not gonna say this check then. You smack. I'm gonna say, Pipistrelle, you're looking up, you see this cultit is about to try and peck you in the face, and then out of nowhere, this blur of rat and tail just smack. Both of them straight off the side of the beetle.
Oh my god.
Just 1 minute they were there, the next moment, gone.
They're gone.
You look and follow their arc as they just completely fall off the side of the beetle and slap onto the ground. Lutzen, you can take any kind of damage that you like, but you do take
Oh my
damage
God,
from
Lutzen,
smacking
I'm
into a
so
bird and then
sorry.
falling off of a beetle.
That's fine. Well, I can't put any lower on vigor.
Well, you
Okay.
could, but that could leave you injured.
Oh. I don't know if there's any, I assume it would be, unless his like charisma or willpower is like damaged, you know.
You could be dizzied,
Dizzied, yeah. So would that be cunning or
or
willpower?
like disoriented for.
So,
maybe
for
more
example,
like-
cunning could be disorientated, you're turned around. Willpower could be, like, it hurt, but it's more like your will to go on is hurt. Like, you land awkwardly, and your tail has a bend in it, and you've just got this pain that you're like, oh god. Or it might just be completely overwhelming. You weren't expecting to be thrown, and now you're feeling really worried and fearsome.
I feel it is a little bit maybe like that. I think it's maybe more willpower of like, he's like, oh dear, like this is going badly. And he's kind of a bit like hurt of just like, oh no, this is not going well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take
I think you
a
take
point
a
in
willpower damage, then.
Okay.
Nonsense, this is going great. I just got a strike, like a like a bowling strike on a bird.
So the bird is completely knocked off. You land on top of Cryer, who isn't moving as you roll off of them. The beetle is chaotically stabbing around. There's a
right.
Pipistrelle,
Yes.
describe what it is like to hold on to a bucking beetle.
As soon as Pip feels like this thing just start to like judder with what I imagine is probably quite a severe amount of like violence up and down, she would drop to all fours, and like I imagine that there's probably like little sort of like pipes and grooves and things coming out of this beetle's back, so like she's probably looking for, she'd probably grab onto like one of the little sort of ridges on its back, or like a little pipe or something, just to like hold on. But she's on all fours, and she's like flattening herself against the back of this beetle to the best of her ability.
Okay, I'm going to say that's going to be a cunning roll, because you're trying to look for handholds. You're not just gripping on for sheer life, and you're not determined, like, if I leave this beetle, it's all over. It's going to be a cunning roll.
Okay. Oh, please. Oh, thank goodness.
That's a 7. Your hand briefly taps one pipe, and you go, nope, that's hot. And then you find a groove where a pipe used to be, but has seemed to have crunched off, that's cold. Instead, you hook your one claw in there, and you've spread your wing over another side, and you are holding on as this beetle lurches and shakes and cavorts. Balthazar, what would you like to do? I'm going to say it's like your turn to act.
Yeah. Okay, so Balthazar just threw a rat at a bird. Successfully, this thing is bucking, and Pipistrelle's on its back. He sees that it's missing one leg, and thinks to himself, well, it can't buck if it doesn't have any legs on the one side. So he's going to grab his warhammer, which he had strapped to his back when he saw the shape coming towards him. It was like instinct to catch this rat in distress. So he's gonna unstrap his warhammer, and kind of like give this kind of like a bull like snort from his nostrils, just
Yes.
and even does like a little before a bull charges, how they scrap their hooves on the ground. He kind of goes does something like that, and then charges in. Looks like he's just bleeding out of his nose. It just looks like he's bleeding. I'm gonna move him away. He's not having that. He is going to charge in, and saying like, "Hold on, Pipistrelle!" And he's gonna try to hit the leg where it connects with the body, just because that's like an obvious point to cripple something.
Which leg are you targeting?
The next one to the one that is already missing, because we're presumably on the same side. Because Lutzen would have been on that side and then get kicked away, right? So.
Well, you could easily maneuver to it and see that the leg is missing. So you run forward. I would like you to. It sounds like it's going to be a vigor check to try and leap and smack this ball-bearing leg area.
Okay. I want to see if I can tag anything, but beetle handling. Come on, let me have this.
I feel like I want to. I want to let you tag beetle handling.
Do it.
Because this would be, if there was an angry beetle, that's how I would take off its leg.
Sure.
This is the same kind of feature.
I feel like the logic is there. If something's angry at you, take off their legs.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're not playing Greer anymore.
Okay, so that is a vigor check.
This is a living thing, because Greer, would be a...
This is true. This is very true.
I don't know how to follow the lines of something that's artificial. I'll just kill that squirrel instead.
Oh god.
But yeah, no. He's gonna just kind of take out this leg, trying to knock it off. So yeah,
that's
if I can
vigor check
beetle
advantage.
Yay! Thank you. Oh, success with the 4.
So that is a 4 success. That was almost a 1, the way it rolled for me. So you smack into the leg. I'm going to say that you don't know about the ball bearing. So you just smack down on one of the thinner parts of the leg. It crunches and buckles. The leg doesn't come off. You crunch down, and it kind of causes the beetle to walk more awkwardly. In fact, it stumbles. The head comes down, and there's a and whoosh, part of the front of the beetle crunches against maybe like a flat stone in the ground, and there's a jet of black coal dust, hot and straight from the furnace, that bursts out towards you. How do you avoid it?
Me, Balthazar.
Yes.
Balthazar, combat rolls away. He's the Dark Souls now.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be a vigor roll.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say disadvantage. I'm tagging your moisture sensitive.
No.
Oh no. Is this the first time you've
okay.
tagged something against the player?
Maybe.
I got a complication.
Does anyone want to
Unless
use
someone-
their auto success, or are we gonna go with this?
Yes. Yes. Take it out. Take it out.
What
Okay.
does Lutzen do?
As you were kind of like going for it. Oh my god. Wait, what were you doing again? Sorry.
Combat rolling away from burning coal dust coming out of the furnace of your beetle.
Okay.
I like
okay.
or I struck its leg. Its head fell
Yeah.
down, and then a bunch of horrible coal dust is coming my way.
I feel he would shout out like where it's gonna come out from, like watch underneath the chin or something, or like where it kind of connects. Like if there's a quick direction he can give to warn where the coal's gonna come out. Like it's about to blow or something like that. Roll to your left.
Oh, yeah. It's like what? He doesn't even like think about it. He rolls because someone told him to roll to the left.
So that's a success. You roll kind of to
Thank
the
you,
other
Lutzen.
side, and the burst of like hot, black, thick dust just whoosh across the ground and disperses into the grass nearby. You stand up to your feet, holding your hammer, and look back, and you just see the malicious glint of Chipper in the control room of this beetle. Kind of
seriously?
teeth grinding.
God, I
Bloody squirrel!
I wish I was Greer right now.
There are no
Because this
squirrels.
squirrel would get tanned.
Oh my god. Get tanned, bruh.
Yeah.
So,
I
Pipistrelle.
think Balthazar just kind of, because he doesn't know anyone's in this thing, he's just like, it's a monster! So then he sees this squirrel, and I think he's actually like really taken aback that someone is trying to actively do this to them. But very quickly harumps into a like, this is unacceptable kind of, this isn't chivalrous at all.
Where is your knightly honor?
Yeah. And kind of his brow furrows and he frowns deeply.
I am-
Pipistrelle, what are you doing? You have survived the bucking of this beetle.
Oh, yes. I think looking at these pipes, I noticed, I imagine that probably Pip is like, there is like steam or coal or like there is like pressure coming out of these pipes. And I was just checking my inventory because I had an idea. I think Pip still has her wing patches. So
Oh my god.
I think what she's going to do is she is going to look for the biggest pipe she can find on the back of this beetle, and she is going to plug it up with one of her wing patches.
Oh my god, that's
Yes.
brilliant!
Genius.
That is genius. That is going to be a cunning check at advantage, because I love the way you're using your tools.
Oh, okay. Oh, I will take that 9. Thank you.
Ooh, that is a success. You start to look around for pipes. You find one that has a jet of like hot air coming out of it that goes. And you try to stick in some of the wing patches, and then there's like and they just straight out again and flutter away. And then, out of the corner of your eye, you notice a similar pipe on the other side that instead of blowing, is sucking in air.
Perfect. She is going to grab another wing patch and she is going to shove it down that pipe.
So you scramble around, turn around towards the pipe. In this time, Lutzen, you're rolling, you're getting off of the going around. You turn around, and oh god, your head is ringing. And then you're like, wait a minute, no, that's more like crying. And you look towards the horizon as you hear the kind of grinding and screeching.
Oh, fuck.
And you see in the red glow that has grown significantly. In fact, you didn't really realize there was a red glow before, but there's now a very thick red glow, and the air smells of smoke, and you can hear in the distance with your rat ears that there is shouts for help.
Oh my god!
Oh no.
Lutzen, what do you do?
Oh my god, oh my god. I think Watson is completely torn. Like, he's like, the beetle's gonna, like, ruin everything, but at the same time, like, these people, where are the people? Does he know which direction or where they are?
Vaguely where you came from with your encounter with the snake. That direction.
Oh, man. He'll just shout out, Pip, there's people in the bush, there's people in the meadow. There's fire.
I want you to make either a cunning or a willpower check to try and catch Pip's attention, because Pip is on a very loud, groaning metal beetle.
Oh no.
I'm gonna say willpower. Oh god, there's nothing I can. I guess no, I don't know. There's nothing I can tag.
Atlanta, remember you have your last help. Oh no, but it's a success. Okay.
It's a success.
Success. I'm gonna say that you all you hear, Pip, is just your name being called, and you dart your head down to Lutzen, and it's that slight break in concentration on the task at hand that makes you go, wait a minute, what do I hear? Because you've got very good hearing as well. And you look up, you've got the vantage from the top of this beetle, and you sort of, I'm going to say it bucks against the rock, and you're able to see over, and you see the actual, not just a red glow, but the licking of flames in the brush.
Oh god, okay, this is getting real dangerous now.
And you hear, like, the calls for help from something in that direction.
Lutzen's just going to scream, just leave the beetle. Leave the beetle.
Oh god. Okay, have I shoved the wing patch into the pipe yet?
I'll say that this is now your chance to shove the pipe in and see what happens.
Okay, I think this is a no thoughts type of action. She shoves that wing patch into the pipe, and she gets up and she starts running to the edge of the beetle and towards Lutzen. She's going to jump off the beetle towards him.
I'm going to say that's a cunning check to shove the thing in, the wing patch.
Ah, no!
You can success it.
Can I
Can't.
success?
No,
Virtue is only someone else.
Yeah.
So here's what the complication is. You barely managed to pull it off, but not without consequence. The narrator describes how the situation becomes more complicated. You shove the wing patch in, and it just straight in, and you think, damn it, and you shove another one in, and gone. And so you just shove your whole bag of wing patches in there. Cross wing patches off of your kit list, you lose that tool, but there's and suddenly, where there was like occasional gouts of like black smoke from the engine, there is now a very thick of black smoke coming out of the top of the horn spout.
Okay. Yeah.
You
Time to
leap
go.
and glide down from the beetle and land near Lutzen.
Good, okay.
Balthazar, what are you doing?
Well, Balthazar sees that Pipistrelle has, leapt off of this thing. He doesn't know what's going on. He just wants Pip to be safe. So he's gonna, and he combat rolled away thanks to Lutzen's advice. So he's gonna do another, just because he can, another combat roll in their direction. So basically, they're all like standing together.
Yeah.
And would he have heard Lutz say, like, there's fire, calling out to Pipistrelle? Because he was on the ground.
I think if you're trying to go towards Lutzen, you can see Lutzen making those gesticulations. If you had done something else, you wouldn't have known. But because you're going to Lutzen, you do see that and get that idea.
And he did see the glow earlier, so he has the idea of a fire.
You see, like, Lutzen desperately gesticulating to something in the bush. You see the glow, it's gotten bigger. You get the idea that, you get the vibe.
Yeah. So, is, Crier still next to Lutzen?
I'm gonna say Crier is still next to Lutzen. Crier isn't moving. I'm gonna ask for either a Vigor or Cunning roll, for your moving towards, Lutzen, the way that you described it, of that sort of, like, rolling and moving.
Oh, I mean, I shouldn't have said that I'm, like, rolling. It was just for fun, out of the other roll, like, he's just moving towards Lutzen, but...
Yeah. I said, like, Vigor or Cunning, and I'm like, no, of course you wouldn't choose Cunning. Yeah, you can do a Vigor roll.
God, I hope I don't fucking kill Crier.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
so that's a 3. A complication. You barely managed to pull it off, but not without consequence. Now it describes how the situation becomes more complicated. I'm going to say the complication isn't a direct result, it's just the situation amping up in tension. You get over towards the beetle, but the beetle is now erratically kicking out with its legs, and it is backing away from you guys. You can see...
I'm not going towards the beetle, I'm going towards the people who are not by the beetle.
This is what I'm saying. So you get towards the people fine. The complication is just the situation gets more intense.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
It's not a direct result of what you do. So you manage to get out from underneath the beetle and away from it. And as part of that, the beetle is also disengaging from you. The legs are kicking erratically and moving backwards. And the beetle is actually starting to crunchily walk off into the brush away from the red glow. You are now standing with the other two, Lutzen and Pipistrelle. And there is the unconscious Crier a few feet away, say, like, leaning against the rock.
Balthazar wants to get to Crier to wake them up.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna shake him.
You run over, and you shake Crier. They are warm to the touch, but they are not responding.
Oh, dear.
Can I shake them harder?
Yes.
I want to wake them up, because... Balthazar basically wants to solicit them to fly to Willamwoot and warn everybody.
Oh,
you shake and you shake harder. There is no response.
Oh, shit.
Is there any, like, blood? Does this guy's, like, did he get, like, hit his head?
Make a cunning check for me.
Oh,
I can't do that.
And Lutzen seeing this and trying to see Balthazar trying to wake them up, could Lutzen take out his can of oil and try and hold it under their, like, nose? Oh, wait, no. Wait, this is a really stupid question.
Nostrils? They do have nostrils.
Like, just something to kind of, like, wake them up to smell.
Smelling salts.
Oil is not smelling salts.
I was thinking
like, you wouldn't wake
petrol,
someone up with a glass full of olive oil. It wouldn't have that effect, unfortunately. Smelling salts are a very specific compound.
Going off of that, can I take out my delicious slug jam to maybe ruse them with, with, like, sweet food?
In my head, I was thinking oil can, petrol, but obviously,
so
just don't have petrol.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna say you're moving around with your hands. You're digging at your pack, and you take the jam out of the pack, and you're like, food, and you go to undo it, and you're like, this is really hard to open, and then you realize that your hands are covered in blood.
Oh my god.
Wow. I mean, Balthazar's been to war, like, he knows what's up. He is gonna look at the blood on his hands and look at Crier, and I think just look around at the fire and say, because he didn't hear the cries. He just is aware of the fire, and he's going to say, somebody has to go and warn Willowmoot if this thing spreads. It'll be devastating.
Oh god. Pip's never seen a dead body before, so she's like she's like, she's scared, but she looks at Balthazar and like nods in agreement, kind of slightly shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Pip, this is how good is your wing?
Oh God. She looks down and she sort of moves it gingerly. Dear Game Master, how is Pip's wing?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You don't know till you try.
Oh no, that's so ominous.
No. And I am the only one who has an auto success left. God damn it.
I mean, that's a pretty good use of it if it keeps up. But maybe that's metagaming. I don't know.
Well, this is the thing. Again,
I can't
virtue
use
is
it.
about taking a step back, using that inference and information,
For others.
and examining the benefits of everybody, taking in the whole scenario. The benefit from virtue is you can automatically dictate the success or failure of another character's role. Vice is the opposite. Vice is about being in the moment, focusing entirely on yourself, about indulgence and immediate success. Vice's boon is also success only for yourself.
Well, because I know in the last it's been like as we are playing, I know it's been like a hot minute, but like it has only been like a day since Pip like had a rest, and she has been putting the poultice on her wings. She hasn't needed to use her wing patches. She hasn't gotten any holes in her wings. She is like, I suppose she is young. There is a chance that she could potentially fly. But
It's been about 3 weeks since you were in the field hospital at Brambledam for the broken wing.
And like, so it's possible, but like there's also like this weird moment where she looks at Balthazar and like it's been a horrible day, and she's been really scared. She's really missed him. And like just the thought of having to leave again and like leave those two in the meadow, she's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I think she would say that. She's like, I can't, even if I could fly all the way back to Willowmoot, which to be fair is not far, how could I leave you both out here with a fire?
That's very fair. Maybe between three of us we can help people and stop things, and then all three of us get there to warn Willowmoot.
But
You
help
are
people
coming-
stop things.
You are coming to a crossroads here, guys. The beetle is moving into the brush. The grass is parting before it. The opposite direction, you hear now and smell the crackling of fire and cries for help. Very a group of cries for help.
Oh no.
Oh God, we can't. Oh my God,
What do you do?
cannot leave. I cannot. I know that like Pip is like, she would say we cannot leave these beasts to die in a fire.
No.
I
That's where we go.
Balthazar, like, he doesn't care much. Like, he doesn't like Chipper and these birds because they're horrible people. But he's just like, he'd just be like, well, I don't care about what happens with these scoundrels. There's a fire. There's people in need. We have to do something.
Yes, let's go. The beetle's not going to make it that far.
Agreed.
But I think Balthazar will like kind of look around last time at Crier, because he doesn't know if Crier's dead or just injured. And we'll actually like look at Lutzen and say, I presume you must be Lutzen. You're a craft buyer. You're one of the smart ones, right? Is this fellow? Are they still alive?
I guess. Can Lutzen try and check? Like, I'm
yes.
usually more into beetles, but I can have a quick look.
Make a cunning check for me.
Okay. No.
Or describe the process of what you do.
Yeah, can I tag eye for detail? And really analysing the scene and seeing what is wrong with them, what's happened, knowing that I knocked into them and how they landed.
Yeah.
Okay, so with advantage. Okay, I mean, that's
2
good.
sevens out of
That's
success. In the chaos of the situation, you run over. You do something that you've seen Grimble do in other places where there's been work accidents. You check their breathing. You open their eyes. You don't know what to check for, but you open the Crier's eye and look, and they go, there's an eye there, and you close it, and then you put your hand above the nostrils of their beak, and you feel breath coming out. You check around. They seem to have hit their head against something as they fell, and they are entirely limp, dead weight. You think they are alive, but you don't think they're conscious.
Oh my god,
Right.
you think they are alive.
Oh my god, that's intense.
Or you believe they're alive. Not like, you're like, oh, you think, but actually they're a zombie. No, it's like, you know they're alive, they're breathing, but they are not conscious.
Lutzen will say, we'll pass that on to the two of them and say, I believe they're alive, but they will be fine for now.
What? We can't. What if the fire spreads? Balthazar's actually gonna pick the bird up because it's gonna be very light, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, birds are quite light, even for for the size.
They've got hollow bones, so they make it look lighter than a rat.
He's gonna pick up the bird, and nonetheless, because he doesn't want to leave it here, because
This is like the tram car situation. Is like save one person or save like a group kind of thing. You know,
God,
literally, Brian, why have you done this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
because drama.
Balthazar's like, I can't leave this person here.
That's
but
fair.
Me, as a player, I'm thinking if Crier wakes up and sees that we saved them despite everything, and we ask them to go to Willowmoot, they will.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're a
We are in a clearing though. We are in a clearing.
And I do have, Balthazar is gonna be hopefully persuasive about this. So that's kind of my plan as a player, but Balthazar would actually take the bird just because it's wrong to leave someone wounded who's still alive.
Yeah.
It's not chivalrous.
That's fair.
Even if they were the enemy, we're all still little beasts fighting against like horrible other things. He doesn't want like, a bird or like some weasel or something to come over here and just eat it because they can. Because that's horrible. You wake up and you're being eaten. Nobody wants that.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus!
Typically, it's never worked in my favor.
I think Pip sort of seeing like Balthazar like picking up this little limp bird, would probably like sort of would be kind of heartened by this as like we don't leave any beast behind. It's like we have to save those other beasts from elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I think with her keen ears, she would try and like lead Balthazar, Lutzen, and this unconscious bird into the brush to try and find these poor creatures who are trapped by the fire.
Or I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned a snake, so
you start. What do you do? You've picked up the unconscious form of Crier. What do you
Balthazar's, this is all. He's not doing anything else. He has 1d4 in cunning. He can't help us. He's just here to carry the bird.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't put the bird back down anywhere because everywhere's gonna be on fire where we go.
Yep.
No, I'll strap the
figure it out.
bird. I'll baby Bjorn the bird to my back.
Oh my god, a goose.
I love it. So
Okay,
good.
yeah, we go rushing into the blazing bush, I guess.
Yeah. Look, we're gonna try and find these other creatures and help them.
Can Lutzen get jump on top of the rock to get a vantage point to spot exactly where, if he can hone in on where they are heading or need to head, where the calls are coming from specifically?
You could. That would be I'd say a vigor or a cunning check to scramble up to the rock and sort of get a better view.
I'll say I prefer cunning as being resourceful.
Yeah, and for kind of picking your way up the rock, you now have a fair amount of light by which to see the rock.
Yeah. Okay. Oh fuck.
You climb up the rock. Oh.
Can I use my auto success here?
Okay. You do.
Can I with Pip sort of like she'll be sort of moving around the clearing quite quickly, sort of ears up, moving to a different place, ears up, listening very intently. So she might be able to kind of point directionally to the place where Lutzen might actually be able to see something. She's like, I think I hear them, but like from that direction, and she'd point to like to where they might be.
Sure. You get up to the rock, and then with the additional direction, you're able to kind of locate originally where you heard these cries from. You see that there is now a fire. There is a kind of a bushfire spreading through the meadow. It is spreading wide and fast. Because it's grass, it's leaving charred, embery earth, but it's also creating a wave of smoke wherever it's going, and a thick grey haze that blocks out the starry blue night above. And you can feel, now that you're high up, a breeze push the smell of this smoke and the heat of it over you. The fire is coming towards you. I'm going to move dear Balthazar out of the way.
Oh, yeah. I'll delete him. Oh,
no, I love it. We're going to say the clearing is here. This circle that I've drawn. This is the rock that you're on with the little X on. Okay. You can see that there is, the cries are coming from over here. Because of the grass and the brush, you can't really understand what is there, but you could just hear dull, cries for help. They're quite high-pitched. We're going to say that I'm going to draw it in a different colour, so that I can update it as we go. I don't know why I did everything in... Anyway, blue. We're going to use blue. The fire is coming in a wave like this. It is coming in this direction.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
And in maybe a minute or two, it will overcome the clearing.
Oh, God! So we really are doing this, absolutely against the clock. Oh, Lord.
Okay, Lutzen will see this, spot this, and just point in a direction. Not, jump off the rock, but just, scurry along and just beeline straight forward the direction.
Mm-hmm.
All four paws on the ground, just, scurrying along the ground.
And people are following him?
Yeah, 100%. Pip is right behind him.
Yeah, Balthazar is taking cues from where they are going. He's not paying attention to the directions, so to say.
I want everyone to make a vigor check as they scramble through the grass.
Oh, Lord.
I only have a D4 left. Oh! Never mind.
Oh, yeah!
Hell yeah!
Damn it!
Can I use something? I'm
gonna be the classic teacher. I don't know, can you?
I'm trying to figure that out. Can I tag my Undaunted again? As despite the stress of the situation, kind of Balthazar's once again, he's a knight, but he was also, for all intents and purposes, a soldier. Mm-hmm. So despite the chaos of the situation, he's very much focused on, following the leader. Okay, we're going here, and he's not letting any of the surrounding environment detract from his from what they're doing right now. He's in mission mode.
Again, you're getting an almost flashback to training hikes with Lavinia and other squires and knights, where the knights would lead and they would set a pace and you had to follow them. And sometimes you had to march with full equipment. Sometimes they were just for pleasure. But there was a really enduring hike around the Toad Log where you had to wear full armor and carry a full backpack, and it was a forced march for a whole day. Worst training day of your life. But there's almost a comfort in that what you carried then wasn't as heavy as the bird you're carrying now.
Oh, yes.
So you have advantage.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Bambi.
Even though the weight of the responsibility, I think, is greater than it was in that moment. Come on!
Oh no, that's so...
In such a poetic moment as well.
Maybe it is that, what you said,
thinking of Lavinia
the responsibility
and the weight of the situation. Yeah.
So,
or maybe whatever the complication for Pipistrelle is.
Oh god, yeah.
So this isn't necessarily a complication in terms of you fall and die. It's more of a how fast you guys are moving through this brush. So we've got 2 complications and a critical success. I'm gonna say here you're making good time, but Lutzen, you're so concerned that actually you go ahead of everyone and you don't realize. You leave a trail and everyone's following, but you're the first to reach this area, this new place. You're moving through the grass, and you're feeling now, all of you, to your right, the heat of this fire moving through this dry brush. Lutzen, you move forwards and leap over something and realize that it is the snake that you fought, and it is full on slithering, just directly perpendicular to you, away from the fire. Like, you leap over this log, and it's just going this way. Like,
oh my gosh.
God.
And it pays no attention to you. It just whoosh through the grass. You move on towards this point here. It is maybe a minute's very quick run. You come to a wooden door in the ground. The grass here has been cleared a little bit, and the earth is more bare. And the difficulty here, you see, there's a raised area of dirt. There is a wooden door, and dirt has been piled and grass been piled against it to disguise it. Smoke is all over this area. And you can hear inside cries for help.
Oh my God.
Does it look like the trapdoor, it's trapped, or it's hidden more? Or
More
like it's
hidden.
stuck, or it's hidden, okay. Can Lutzen, seeing that Lutzen's gotten there first, I think he'll kind of glance back, and realizing that Pipistrelle and Balthazar aren't following, but then the calls for help are more like pressing. Can he try and unhinge the door, or like open the door?
Yes, describe what that looks like.
Oh my man. Oh my god, my brain's all over the place. He just tries to like levering it with what left of his bent what's it called, wrench, kind of sticking it in and trying to like almost like dig, but also leave her open at the same time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that strangely, it's a better kind of crowbar now in this bent form than it was as it's straight, and so you're like, you kind of use that kind of keen, bizarre ideas that shouldn't work but do. Just kind of dig it in and lever. Use a vigor check at advantage.
Okay. Oh man, vigor. Okay.
Critical success with a 4 and a complication with a 3. You dig it in, you lever, you with all your might, and you feel a twinge in your back, but you push past it, and there's a clunk as the door bumps up a little bit, and you shift some of the rock that's been piled against it in the grass that covers it. You push the door open, and a gout of black smoke comes out. Coughing and sputtering, you see a little baby hare come out of the hole, and it goes and it looks up at you and goes, you're not my mum.
Oh no. Oh my God.
And then says, who are you? And the kind of the smoke starts to dissipate, and you realize there's smoke coming from inside this burrow.
Oh no. I will say, I'm hello little one, I'm Lutzen. Is there anyone else in there?
Yeah, my brothers.
Oh
and
no.
It's kind of this little hare is maybe like a third of your size, and is wearing a little kind of like loose kind of coat made from dried grass that's been kind of dyed a green and has been stitched with little flowers, and half of them is black from like smoke.
I'm gonna cry.
Dust.
Oh my God, Brian.
Brian, you're really. Oh my God, this is. Oof, okay. I'll just yell down into the burrow. There's a way out this way.
And the rabbit says, or the hare says, they can't fit through this. Come on, and he runs down back into the burrow on all fours.
I follow.
Mm-hmm. You go
I've
into.
got my goggles on, so
you
I
put
guess
your
that
goggles
helps.
on. You go into the barrow, and there is smoke all around the ceiling. You see that this is some kind of disused pantry. There is a small kind of like hole through which, as you go down, you see that there's a small hole through which the hare has come from, that smoke is coming out of, and you hear very distinctly the cries of several similar voices on the other side. And the hare kind of like wiggles its way through, and then says, and you kind of hear doled through a wall made of dirt and structured with bits of timber. Doled, the voice says, guys, I found a rat. And the others go, get us out of here! And they're like banging on the walls.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna tag my structural engineering can I see where there's a weak point that I could break through the wall if it's just backed up with dirt and use the wrench to kind of either hit a structural support or, again, jam it and kind of crowbar pull it out?
I'm going to say that's going to be a
out.
vigor check. I'm going to let you make the check because you're tagging the skill, but it's not necessarily giving you an advantage because it would just be hitting a wall otherwise. So make a vigor check.
Oh, no.
Oh my
A critical
God!
success. You,
Oh my
again,
God.
structural engineering, you
MVP.
have this immediate click, almost as if like, oh, in the back of your mind you file away the information like, oh, that'd be a really good thing to take out of the beetle, because clearly that's what was making this anyway. And you smack the wall where this bit of dirt has fallen down, and how the beams haven't been slotted together, and start to dig with the wrench, and eventually the wrench actually, one of the spurs of it, hook onto the wood, and you're able to start levering, but it's not quite enough. Balthazar and Pipistrelle, you get to the open door of this burrow, and you can hear Lutzen angrily groaning inside.
Oh God. Is there any indication that it might be anyone else outside, or is it only inside? Where we're
Only
hearing
inside.
voices coming
And
from?
you
Only
hear
inside.
dulled, louder now, the voices of people like banging on walls and crying.
Balthazar will just, I guess, run into the burrow. Say, "Come on, Pipistrelle, I can hear people."
Pip would take one desperate look around outside her at the fire, and then she would sort of again shake herself into action and run after Balthazar down the hole.
You go down into the hole and you see Lutzen is trying to lever a beam out of the wall, and you can see there is smoke coming out of a hole near the lower half of this pantry, a hole that's too small for any of you to crawl through.
Coming in! Balthazar will help Lutz, either to push/pull on, the leather. Leather? What? The wrench?
Lever.
Lever, yeah, sorry. And if there's no room for that, he would use his hammer to kind of wedge and continue helping. But whatever's kind of the more obvious solution here. If he can just help push or pull or whatever it is that Lutz is doing, he will.
Okay, I'm gonna say that you take your hammer out and you dig the pommel of it into another piece of wood. Lutzen's gotten just a lip of it out, and then you dig it in further down and start kind of fulcruming on that. Make a vigor check for me.
Oof.
If I was to assist and point out another spot with my structural engineering tag, would that help?
Yeah, I'd let you be like, I've got this bit, you get there, and then I'll go here, and yeah. You have advantage on your check, Balthazar.
Yay, thank you, Lutz. I'll take that 5, please.
You got a 5 and a 2. 5 is success, you do as well as you can. The narrative describes how successful you are. Working together, you move the beam a little bit more, and then Lutzen goes in and secures it with his wrench, and then you go down further, and there's and the beam crunches forward, causing a hole to open at the top. A big billow of black smoke comes out, and you hear coughing. You pull the beam, and then further, and the beam comes out of the wall, onto the ground, and then the mud dry starts to crumble. There are roots in the wall there, and a big billow of smoke comes out that eases to a smaller trickle. Clearly it's been building up, and there is a hole in the wall large enough for a team of different sized but all young hares to come out.
Oh, thank God.
And they kind of stumble into this part of the kind of the pantry.
Balthazar will just kind of go into night mode and just start pointing them towards the exit. Because Pipistrelle, did you stay back or did you come in?
She did come in, and actually, I was going to say, while you two were levering that beam out of the way, I've been checking my inventory again. I have bandages, and I think what she's been doing is she's been fashioning them into a way so you can put them around your face to try and stop as much smoke going into your mouth as possible, because these hairs will have been like underground inhaling smoke and will, so she's gonna help as they're kind of running out. She's gonna like help them, and she's gonna like put a little bandage around their nose and mouth to stop as much smoke getting into their faces as possible. I'm gonna say
to get masks for everyone, you'll have to use all of your bandages. So mark it off as a tool. That's it used up. But now everyone has a cloth mask over their face.
Cool. Gotcha.
Good shout.
And the eldest of the hares, to you, Balthazar, as they're putting on their mask, says, Thank you for getting us out. Our mum went to the market at Willowmoot. She said she'd be back tonight, but a fire started and we couldn't get out the front, and I had to send little Pip out the back way. We only use it in the winter. And can you take us to Willowmoot?
Balthazar would first of all, he's for a moment, because he's stupid, and for a moment he's confused about little Pip. But
Apple
then
Pip.
He looks at this hair and says, "We all have to hurry to Willowmoot as fast as possible. We have to warn them of this incoming fire if they don't know about it already. Go out as fast as you can, and watch out, the fire's coming from, I think it's going to be the left-hand side from where we're at now. Yeah. He will say, watch out.
Side?
Yeah, watch out for the flames. We'll all rally together and make it to Willowmoot without any trouble. Don't you worry, little one."
Okay, I'm going to ask you to make a willpower check to see how much you can calm and inspire these.
Yeah. Can I tag my chivalrous etiquette?
Yes.
As between his shining armor and big warhammer, he might be able to inspire confidence in these little tykes. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I rolled with willpower despite you didn't even say if I can. I'm sorry, but
I did say willpower. I was going to say actually it's a straight roll because you're also covered in blood and have a seemingly dead bird on your back. But you rolled a 6 first, so you succeed.
Yeah, so it was the first one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just rolled before you even said if I can.
Just excitement.
It's not a dead bird. It's an infirm. I'm obviously helping it.
Yes.
You're covered in blood.
I'm covered in it's not blood, it's ketchup.
It's jam.
It's my slug jar. They see me, they're like, oh no, blood, and then my pack moves a little and they see the little jar of slug jam and they're like, oh no, he was just enjoying slug jam with this bird.
Sure. You're trying to explain, but they're already like, we're gonna go.
Oh my god.
You step out. I'm going to change the music to something a little bit more atmospheric. You step out of the burrow, this back entrance, and the firewall has moved forward.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Is it right over us?
It is at the edge of the clearing. There is hot sparks and black smoke everywhere. It's actually very hard to see, and you can feel, the only thing you know for sure, you feel the heat of where the fire is. That kind of orientates you a bit. We're going to go a little bit more dilated in terms of time now. I want you to kind of describe what each of you are doing to try and get you back to Willowmoot.
Oh god, I think Pip would be I think it's probably quite fair to say that we're all if we know which way the fire is coming from, we're all moving in that opposite direction. And I think, oh god, is there anything I can use here? I have a map. I do have a map. So I think leading away from the fire and using her map and her kind of the bearings that she's gotten from kind of wandering all over this field with Balthazar, with Lutzen. She's trying very hard to direct these little hairs and keep them following and moving as quickly as possible away from the fire towards Willowmoot.
Okay, so that's going to be a cunning check from you. And I'll ask everyone to make their checks at the end, because then we'll resolve them all at once. But that's going to be cunning from you. Lutzen, what are you doing to help?
Very good question. I feel Lutzen would be... with eye for detail, would I be able to kind of... No, because I guess that's kind of what... Well, maybe just aiding Pipistrelle in, navigation. Being able to kind of figure out where the fire is coming from and which way we need to head and which way Willowmoot is, kind of instinctively.
I'm going to say you're going to aid the map reading, where Pipistrelle is trying to find a direct and quick route. You're trying to use and guess where the fire is going to spread to next.
Yes.
To help guide a safe route. Balthazar, what are you going to do?
Balthazar is just going to try to keep morale high, kind of corral the little hares if anyone, if anyone's kind of falling behind, like that little one that got to us, like he's gonna, always make sure to wait for them, just kind of have that, I think, once again, that Toadstool Squire, flashback of all of them helping each other and being in their little squad and stuff, or in their knot. And just making sure that everyone's together and feeling good, and if anybody, if one of the kids start crying, he gives them a pat and says, "Don't worry now, we're not very far at all. I'm sure that your mom is very worried, and she'll be very happy to hear how brave you've been." Stuff like that.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna cry.
Me too.
And,
Okay,
so morale check.
Pipistrelle and Lutz, I would like cunning checks from you to begin with.
Cool.
No!
Pipistrelle, can you not tag anything?
What can I tag? I actually wait. I'm dumb. I have a reading maps. But part of my
You did
job
say
is
you had a map.
I have a map and I completely forgot. Okay,
And a messenger.
I will let you retroactively have advantage.
thank you.
This is not the time for hijinks.
For God's sake.
I'll take a complication over a hijinks.
Fucking hell.
You barely managed to pull it off, but not without consequence. The narrative describes how the situation becomes more complicated.
However, it is a combination between us.
I'm
So
gonna
it would
say.
We would average to a 4
Also,
or 5.
I have yet to roll mine. Do you want to resolve this before I roll mine?
I'm gonna say, because we're gonna get to yours. This is just the way things are going. Everybody takes 1 vigor damage.
I can't drop mine any lower.
You're gonna have to roll it, and if you roll a 1, I'll describe what happens next. But we'll do that in just a sec. Essentially, the smoke is almost more dangerous than the fire itself. You are having a really hard time to guide away from the smoke or away from the wind that's pushing the smoke and making the air hard and choking, without also deviating from Willowmoot. You are working as best you can together, but this is the best result you have, as everyone takes 1 vigor damage. So everyone lower their vigor die by 1, and if it's a d4, you need to roll it, and we'll see what happens next.
Oh no, right.
Oh, okay, it's not a 1.
Okay, whew.
With the mask that you have on from Pipistrelle, you hack and cough and are feeling really rough, but you manage to push on past possibly an injury.
Okay, good.
Nothing happens. Nothing bad happens quite yet.
Oh no!
Balthazar, I would like you to make your willpower roll.
Can I tag my chivalrous etiquette of the Toadstool Squires working together and being
I
that
like
kind
that
of
memory,
figure?
Yeah.
But also a kind of, these kids maybe never saw a night like this. So kind of being like this to them, with his exemplary kind of knightly behavior, like this hero that they can cling on to.
It's a different use of your chivalry. I really like that, so you do get advantage. And you definitely want advantage because you rolled a 1, which is a hijinks.
I'll take my 4, thank you.
I'm
so sorry for my seal noises there, but I genuinely had a heart attack.
Ooh.
Too much.
You almost lose one of the hairs.
Oh my god.
Not in oh, whoops, I've misplaced them. It's dark, it's scary. After this, you kind of, it's the small one at the back who's very tired. After this, you make sure that everyone's holding hands so they don't get lost again. And you manage to keep all of these hairs working single file towards the goal. There is one final challenge ahead of you, guys.
Okay.
There is a wall of fire has pushed around past you. So if we'll say that there's a blue X over here, this is This is Willowmoot. The fire has pushed round like this.
Oh no. Okay.
no.
And is now left a wall of burnt ground, ash, hot embers in your wake. How will you navigate it?
Okay.
Oh god.
If the blue is where the fire actively is, you have to sort of pass through it, go over these embers, and pass to the other side to get to Willowmoot. Or
Wait,
you can do anything.
So there's a wall of fire here, but then there's all the embers here. So there's technically like 2 walls of fire between us and Willowmoot.
Right.
And you can see that the fire, it's not like the fire is like 5 miles of fire. It's like a thin wall of fire that is burning through the dry grass.
Is there
my
a
God.
way that Lutzen would be able to take his backpack and use it as a kind of shield and kind of rush into the thin kind of wall of fire and push out some of like break a path through the middle?
You could try.
Yeah, I think I want to do that. I think I want to try and like spin the backpack round onto my front and use it as a kind of like not battering ram, but to kind of flatten
Like a
some of the grass.
bulldozer.
Yeah,
If we do something together, would because maybe seeing that he wants to do that, Balthazar would say, what if we find some stones and put them down like a bridge above the fire? They shouldn't catch fire, right? If we're fast, we can walk on them before they get hot. And I think, Lutzen, you would know where to place them. You seem like brainy.
I do. If I'm going to do the kind of battering ram thing, it depends on how what's the time pressure on this. Is my
You can
thinking.
do one thing.
Oh, okay.
Like once
As
you
in,
do
like-
once you make a plan and do it, that's your attempt.
Yeah.
You can't be
Well,
like,
as in-
oh, I failed, I'll try something else. Like, that the time pressure is not like you have like 30 seconds of stuff. It's just you get one chance.
Okay, more thinking for like, do we have time to search for like stones or whatever, and then
Yeah,
place them?
I'd say like you have a chance to like look around, try and roll, find a stone, try that plan. But once you start committing to looking for stones, that's like you're trying that plan.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
That's
that
our
might
plan,
be.
yeah.
I would be
And
wanting to-
also, we are trying to do something for not just I am traversing this fire. I'm doing something to help everyone else, right? Is that
Yeah,
kind
because
of
there's like
the-
7
Yeah,
baby
7
hairs following you.
babies.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, there's so many babies.
Right. Yeah. Either way, I'm going to tag my outlandish solutions,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Okay.
like the things that shouldn't work but do.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, Balthazar, I want you to make a vigor check to lay these stones, but Lutzen, first I want you to make a cunning check at advantage to find appropriate stones.
Just very quickly, are we actually committing to the stones then? Because I just suggested that, but didn't realize maybe that, because I suggested it, but I don't think everybody was like, yeah, let's do that. I don't
mean,
want to be.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know what other options we really have right
Yeah,
now. Like the
the
fire,
stones-
like we are small animals and we have babies in tow. Like we are not going to outrun fire.
Yeah.
And this is the most direct course of action. And God, I can't see baby hairs dying. I just can't do
Yeah.
it. It's too hard.
Would I be able to know as like an engineer if like would stones be enough to flatten or make a clear path, or would it be better to try and beat it down?
If you do
as,
this
like,
right, it'll work.
as like an analysis of like the situation before we do anything.
I'd say technically this would be the boon you get from being neutral, which is ask a question about your actions and get an honest and complete answer, but I'll give it to you anyway. As an engineer, you would know that this would work safely if you pull it off.
Okay. That's good enough for me.
That's the only problem, is
That's
pulling
good
it
enough.
off.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. And then with advantage with the outlandish solutions. Was a cunning roll, was it?
Yeah, so cunning, please.
Okay. Oof. 1.
Oh,
You can only get better from here. Okay.
Okay, so you've got a success from your 7. You do as well as you can, and I describe how successful you are. You are able to point out the stones and where they need to go. Now it's all on Balthazar to move them into position.
Yes. Balthazar, as he's picking up these stones, they happen to be the size and shapes of the carapaces of all the beetles he's dealt with, and he's like, "Oh, this is just like cradling beetles. Can I tag my beetle handling for the familiarity of the shape of the stones?"
That is the chunkiest. I love it.
God.
Okay, so I was going to give you disadvantage because you're moisture sensitive and you're dealing with fire. I will let you make a straight roll. For the love of your zaniness there.
Oh my god.
Well,
You're herding kids instead of beetle.
Yeah, it's all like beetle handling. Oh god, so is this a vigor check?
Vigor check, straight roll.
Okay, I have a d6 on this. Guys, I'm very, very scared.
Wait, I was gonna say, do you get any advantage from my positioning or figuring things out?
You've used the advantage and the disadvantage. It's just a straight roll.
I guess unless Pip is helping me, but I guess I've already rolled.
You've already rolled, and also you've got that. You had everything in theory. Like it would have been a straight roll either way.
Yeah.
The fire licks and burns at you as you lay down the stones.
Oh no.
You take a vigor damage.
It's
But
down to D4, but I'm fine.
You're
This is what a
able
knight
to.
does.
I'm gonna say actually that it heats up part of your armor and it kind of burns, and it's like, oh god, that really hurts. And you don't want to lift the armor up to see what it's like underneath.
Nope.
Oh no.
Nope.
You're
And-
like,
but he
can't
also-
see it, no problem.
Yeah, he grimaces through it because he doesn't want to scare the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because maybe if he had moved away or taken it off or something, he could alleviate it, but he feels that if he does, they might see horrible, just like burns or smell something, and he doesn't want to.
I think
Okay.
while Balthazar is like moving the rocks, I think like Pip will have kind of taken over general sort of shepherding duty of the kids, and will be trying her best to also like keep up morale and be like, Balthazar is so brave, and like, look, he's building us a bridge and everything. Like, she will be trying very hard to kind of keep them occupied and thinking about something else while this bridge is being built.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you lay this bridge, you take the vigor damage. The final hurdle to circumvent is this burned, charred earth.
Oh god.
Okay. There's no more stones around to make more stepping stones, is there?
It would be too much. It's hot earth, and there's much too far to travel to make stepping stones, or to carry the stones with you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Balthazar will, if he takes his hammer and kind of uses it, to brush the embers away in front of everyone, maybe he can like make a path where it's not as burnt. He's already hurting from the heat and stuff. Like he might as well, he's gonna put himself in.
I have something else that I could also try. If Balthazar is using his hammer to kind of like sweep away stuff, if there are like burned embery moments, Pippa's still got her sleeping bag, and she could use that as like sort of as like a to snuff out the flames. So like she's going forward and like sort of kind of like patting her sleeping bag on the ground at a spot and trying to get rid of the fire, and then moving forward, patting out another spot of like burnt earth, like to kind of help Balthazar along.
But bouncing off from that, if Lutzen saw Pip taking out the sleeping bag, could he kind of spontaneously, tagging the spontaneous construction, fashion like, kind of not maybe like tear it in like along one seam and make it longer for like a longer secure path or something to walk on top of? Like if Pip was like willing to sacrifice it.
Is Pip willing to sacrifice it?
If that was the direction you were going. But if not...
I mean, I think...
Wait, no, if she doesn't want to, Balthazar will dig out for his blueberry banner of his people and say, you can use this! I think it's a good use for a banner to help everyone along. I don't mind if it's ruined in the process. I think it's a better use for it than just waving it around, wouldn't you say?
I think Pip would take it from Balthazar and be like, but are you sure this is a, she'd look at like the stitching on the blueberries and the flowers and everything, and be like, this is a beautiful thing, and it's of your home, Balthazar.
Well, I think I would rather lose this than all of us in this moment.
And I think she would sort of, she would take the banner from Balthazar and like. But I think she would take the banner, but I think she would still use her rucksack, so they can just make
stitch them together,
like stitch as much like fabric together to make like a huge like snuff thing to kind of like.
I'm gonna say that the way it would work, you would attach. Lutzen could make a device very quickly on Balthazar's hammer that makes a wide path and kind of brushes a wide path, and Pipistrelle, you have your sleeping bag ready to go for larger kind of piles of burnt area and earth that you can snuff in spots. So you're working together.
Yes.
Lutsen, I want you to make a cunning check for me.
Cool. Just as is, or with the spontaneous construction?
With your spontaneous construction, you can have advantage, yeah.
Okay. Do you say cunning, yeah?
Mm-hmm. You make the random kind of brush thing immediately with your success. Balthazar and Pipistrelle both want you to make vigor checks for me.
Can Balthazar, because, using his banner for this, like, destroying it, would this count as a chivalrous etiquette kind of move? Of, this is but a symbol. True knighthood of Blueberry Pond is in the heart.
Oh.
In fact, I think the way you're describing that's going to be a willpower roll.
Willpower, okay.
This is above and beyond just a single knight. This is what the Knights of Blueberry Pond stand for. Yeah. This is truly what the banner is.
And I am removing the banner from my gear, because I think it would get messed up. So is this a straight roll or advantage?
Advantage. And it's willpower, not vigor.
Yeah.
Is it still vigor for me, or is it willpower for me?
Come on!
And it's vigor for Pipistrelle, unless you want to describe it another way.
I'm really mad at my roll.
Oh no.
Can I don't know if I can tag anything. I don't know if my inquisitive nature would help me here. No, I think I'm just gonna have to go
Not
for a
quite. You
straight
can't
roll.
really quiz the fire for info.
Not really.
Oh my god.
Dang it.
What are your true intentions, Fire? Oh my god, guy.
Pipistrelle just whoosh, gone.
No! I just found her!
It's been 84 years. You can't take us away from each other already.
Oh my god.
You go as fast as you can through this kind of burnt landscape, and the closer you get to Willowmoot, the louder you hear on the wind a bell, a warning bell, ringing clear into the night, and you hear animals moving around, kind of people yelling in the distance of Willowmoot, and the closer you get, you see on the horizon the silhouettes of animals, and then something blinks in your eyes, something bright. You realize they're shining lanterns at you, and then you hear a low and growly voice go, "Over here, there's animals!" And then another one go, "Oh, yeah, I see them." And kind of, is the goddamn otter with the hat.
Oh my god.
And it comes up, and he comes over with his milk pails of stuff, but instead he's got buckets of water.
Oh.
And he throws the water over you, and then is dripping water behind him to douse a path, and you have this cooling water whoosh, kind of go down on top of you, and you didn't realize how hot and dry and baked you were from the heat of this wildfire. And then, as you kind of are guided towards Willowmoot by this sort of rescue party, you see there are other rescue parties going out from Willowmoot, and you suddenly hear this kind of cathartic scream, and you see this hare run over to you, and she goes, "Oh my god, my babies! Oh my god! Pip and Burr and Bram and Pod!" And she's kind of grabbing all of them and just hugging them. And they're all like, "Mom,
Brian.
Mom, Mom!" And
This is not okay.
and you are all ushered towards Willowmoot, where there is a kind of guard of animals on the perimeter with brooms and with rakes. They've cut down the grass to make a firewall, and you are guided from the chaos and the heat and the dryness of the fire into the cool, shaded halls of the Bent Branch.
Oh.
I think
My
that's
god.
where we're going to end today's episode.
Wow.
Ah.
Who at one point said that like the story of like Pip and Balthazar wasn't dark enough yet? I think it was you, Atlanta, at one point. You're like, yeah, like it was quite nice. It's been refreshing having it be like a little bit darker and greer story. Well,
Yeah, I got what I fucking asked for.
Yeah, the monkey's paw curled.
Oh,
But hey, honestly, I'm actually really glad that we grabbed Crier, because they would have totally died in that fire.
Oh, 100%. You definitely made the right decision because like they would have
100% combusted.
yeah.
Yeah.
100% up and over that smoke.
Just KFC out there in the meadow.
Oh my god!
I should play a Predator.
Oh.
I mean, it would be KFC.
Play
It
a
would be
fox.
Kentucky Fried Cold Tit.
Yeah.
Oh
Chicken,
my god!
No, so what is KFC-T?
KFC.
Jesus Christ.
KFS, Kentucky
Chicken.
Fried Songbird.
Oh
There you
no.
go.
Oh my god.
Would it be Kentucky Fried or would it be Scottish Fried? Like, or Fire Fried? I don't know. We're getting too much into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird now.
The logistics don't need to be thought about.
Oh my goodness. What a
So-
session though.
What a comeback, like, to the kind of full game where everyone's here. Wow, Brian.
I
Everyone's
cannot
here.
actually believe that we all
Chaos.
survived that. Genuinely.
Also, I kind of, like, there was all this dire danger, and Chipper got away, and, like, that is our villain now, and
Yeah.
I want to find her, and I want
Chipper's our big
to
bad.
just really tell her how much of a jerk she is and how disappointed I am in her.
So,
That's
do
bossy.
you want to
I would
have?
like to channel Greer if I could.
Mhm.
I don't know. That might be the
Sorry.
second. That might be the second Greer interlude. Is new contract.
Oh my god.
Imagine.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, do you guys want to
Wow.
have a reflection? This is the other half of Vice and Virtue, where we look back on the actions of the scene. We talk about the fortune, the theme it was tied to, the tags, the vice, the virtue, and then we decide new bearings for your characters. Though I have an idea
Absolutely.
of where you guys are.
Yeah, I mean, the little cries were the little baby hairs. It was not any
That
one
was-
of us.
So, the fortune you chose was Horse, Their Cries Fill the Night. I think it was.
Yeah.
I love a good twist with
Yeah.
my fortunes. It's always about the unexpected. Hang on, I'm going to scroll up and see where it was. Hang on, I have it.
Honestly, I did have a feeling. I was like, there's going to be someone caught in the fire.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I
it
had
was-
a gut feeling.
It was Horse, Their Cries Filled the Night. The theme was discipline. The vice of discipline is gluttony, the virtue is dignity. The tags for gluttony are appease, compete, exceed, excite, gratify, indulge, feed. And dignity is balance, control, level-headed, resilient, resolute, steady, and unfaltering.
Oh,
How do you guys feel you guys were in the scene?
Oh.
I
I mean,
I mean, us individually or all of us at once? Us
I
individually.
want all of you
right?
to speak at once over each other. No, whoever wants to start first.
Fraser, why don't you start?
Oh man, why? Okay. I don't know. I think Lutzen acted. He was very much in the moment. He's not really one to, really look forward too much and plan. But like, he went with his gut instincts of like, he heard the voices and he was just willing to sacrifice the beetle because he heard people calling out for help.
Mhm.
It's something like it is his prized possession, but the lives of others in this fire that he ultimately did start. But I don't think he's really like come to terms with that. Like, I don't think he's really clicked with that bit yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm but something with it.
Okay. Pipistrelle,
Mm.
how do you think you were in the scene?
Let me think. I mean, it was, I think seeing Balthazar again, particularly after such a kind of like a forced separation, and then so many things went so badly wrong. But like, I think, heartened to see like Lutzen going like, trying to basically destroy something that he loves, like gave her heart, finding Balthazar again gave her heart. I think she was, she was really not thinking about like herself. I think in this scene, I think she really acted very much like, yes, we've just escaped from a snake, but we both caused this fire, like this beetle is out of control, like, she let Chipper get away, when she was looking for Lutzen and she went wandering around in the woods and she was trying to find Chipper and didn't, but found Lutzen instead. Like, you know, I think she acted very instinctively. I think she tried very hard to act in a way that she felt would benefit everybody. It was definitely, this is not a case of like, oh, I just want to find Balthazar again. This, like, I don't want to go back to Willowmoot. Like, this is this is dangerous. This squirrel is dangerous. Like,
He's a maniac.
I know, like, you know, there's a fire starting, and she was still trying to steal this beetle, and she ultimately succeed. You know, something we will have to come back.
Well, I can't wait to hunt her down.
Oh my god, I know, right?
I already know what Balthazar's gonna like call her.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, he's gonna call her vermin.
Oh, that feels like a real beastly insult. Does it
That's
not?
like
vermin.
like you are a pest.
But is that like, where does that come from? Like, because that would be like a human.
Well,
I don't know.
I guess that can be said about like a lot of the fact that we're using in the English language. But I think
feel like
in these terms, like someone who causes trouble on purpose for others.
Vermin.
Well, I feel like the idea of vermin in the English language is like spreading plague, pestilence. They're scum. They only are negative. So I feel vermin is like a very rarely used word to describe someone that you're totally evil. You're irredeemable. Like you call the tanners to get rid of vermin.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting spin on it. But I think that's really interesting. But yeah, I think Pip tried her best to, like, she was really thinking about like other people, you know, jumping on the back of this beetle. Like, her wing is not 100% fixed yet. She doesn't think, like, she was trying very hard to she was proud of her friends and she wanted to protect them.
Mm-hmm. And Balthazar, how do you think you were in this scene?
I think Balthazar started on I don't remember all of the descriptors of gluttony, because I think it would be more like he started out like, oh, I want to find Pipistrelle, but then he encountered this scene, and when he realized there's a danger of the spreading fire, his instant thought was Willowmoot, and I think he kind of also kept a level head, like when it comes to Crier. Like, he could have left him, but he had it in him of just like, there is that discipline of what is the right thing to do, despite how Ram might feel about this person. It's not right to leave them here, and he kind of took that more objective, kind of level-headed approach, even if personally, like, he thinks that this bird is a garbage boy. But in the moment, he's like, well, this is the right thing to do. So I think it was like the disciplined decision. But I would have to see I sometimes forget the full, like, because you have like a good list of keywords that always help me narrow things down, but I just don't know off the top of my head.
So when we play next week, I will have, because Vice and Virtue is going to be coming to Kickstarter in November as an official thing that people can have. So I will have some pretty sexy, lovely, flashy stuff to actually have on the screen next week. For now, I'm just going to copy and paste the table into the Discord game chat that we have.
Lovely.
However, I think there's some really interesting interpretations that could be going on here. So I'm going to start with Balthazar and work my way backwards. So, Balthazar, I think that you acted with dignity in this scene. Ultimately, your goals were... They weren't selfish. I would say, if anything, you were neutral to dignity in terms of understanding your place here. You were disciplined, you had your goal, you went towards it, and you let it be flexible to the needs of the situation. I think acting in Vice would have been going after Chipper no matter what. But because you went for the cries for help, and because your goal was ultimately to make sure that everyone made it through, I think you were unfaltering, you were steady, you were resolute, you exemplified dignity. So I'm going to say that your bearing would remain virtuous.
Thank you.
Is that something you agree with?
Yes. Because I was thinking of discipline as the virtue, but it is dignity that encompasses the virtue and gluttony, the vice.
Yeah, discipline is the theme, the balance of dignity and gluttony.
Yeah, I forgot. The words just kind of got mixed up in my head.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah, I think he always had like a goal in his mind that the level-headedness of, okay, this is happening now, so we're gonna deal with this. And yeah, didn't let his deep frown of this vermin chipper take over what is the more important thing to do in this moment.
So I have a different interpretation for Lutzen. I think Lutzen, you acted in Vice, but I'm going to explain it.
Okay, I think I would agree.
That even though you didn't go to defend your beetle, I think you found a greater understanding of yourself and what you prize as dear in the scene. And you needed to get immediate effect and action. You didn't necessarily go and step, because virtue is stepping back, taking everything in, and understanding it at a greater planning, colder, removed sense. Vice is being in the moment, acting immediately, needing immediate gratification. I think to some degree, in that sense of discipline and gluttony, you threw yourself straight into every situation. You immediately attacked the beetle to try to take off its leg. You didn't try to necessarily strategize with Pip. You went straight for the beam in the wall and tried to open up a hole big enough for the hares to escape from. By the way the story went, not necessarily by choices you, Fraser, you charged ahead to get to that rabbit barrow. I think the way that Lutzen acted would be considered indulging and satiating of that desire. So I think you acted with Vice. And I think Lutzen saw the benefit of direct action in this scene.
Yeah, I know, I completely agree.
I like that interpretation.
Yeah, no, I was thinking exactly the same. He kind of threw himself in full-headedly, like just very in the moment. Yeah, I agree.
And I think like the benefit that you're seeing from the side of Vice here, and this is what's empowering for the next scene for you, is that auto self-success, is that ultimately there is a lot of energy within you to make change in the world, and if you hadn't leapt forward, if you hadn't attacked the beetle and weakened it, could Pipistrelle have jumped on it and broken it down? Would you have run into Balthazar the way that you did, or flew into Balthazar and had the situation play out? If you had not charged ahead to find the rabbits, would they have survived? I think there's a lot of self-affirmation there of, there's a lot of agency in me that I can express.
I like that.
So I think you're bearing for the next scene, and the benefit you have until the end of the next scene is that you can once, when you make a roll, after you roll, before I really get into describing the results, you can choose to have an auto self-success.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
And finally, for Pipistrelle, I think that you were neutral here. So again, everyone has a chance to express how they feel about it, and because obviously this is a discussion. I think you weren't gluttonous and you weren't dignity. You threw yourself literally on top of the beetle.
Yes. Yeah.
But you also used the information around you to understand how you could do it. You weren't like, I'm going to climb in there and I'm going to kick this squirrel's butt. You were like, no, how can I take down this beetle? How can I use the environment around me? Used a lot of cunning rolls and willpower rolls in this scene. And also, you didn't have any feeling of like, oh, well, I started taking down this beetle, I'm going to see it to the end. You're like, people are screaming for help, we need to go help them. That's what's most important. In that same way that Balthazar was entirely virtuous, they acted entirely with dignity, I think you saw the benefits of wandering, direct action, or taking a step back. You see both kind of benefits there, so I think you're neutral. And the benefit of neutral is asking a question about what would be the best decision to make, and I think that Pip would have, in like reflection, would have really liked that power this scene.
Definitely, yeah.
Because I think there are a lot of scenes where like you could have helped somewhere else, not that you didn't, because you did, but where like you had the chance to help other people with the other success, but instead what could have been more useful to you is actually like, what should I do next? Like, I have this plan, but I just want to know that it's going to go okay. I think that that inflection and that inference is what Pip really needs.
I would agree with that, definitely.
I love these. I mean, obviously you made the system, so obviously you'd be good at it, Brian. But your interpretations are always so spot on, and because this was also the case in our previous game with the nights that we played, where it was always so interesting to hear you kind of break things down, and it was like surprising, but in a like a cool way, where it's just like, you are right. Like you really You really got it where I didn't see it. Whoa.
I totally agree with that.
I wrote a question. There we go. I literally wrote question, not like a question to answer. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, we have got a real spread, literally, of bearings. And I'm excited for next week's episode. It's going to be a nice, interesting, probably more social talky episode where you talk with Crier, you find out what's going on, you make your next plan for what you'd like to do next.
I'm gonna get in ahead and say that once they get back to Willowmoot and like, you know, sort of dust has settled proverbially, Pip is gonna be like, I need a hug, Balthazar.
Yeah, no, but I think like Balthazar came in, everything was like so high octane. As soon as he, gets Crier down from his back and takes the armor off as to not hurt Pip, he's absolutely gonna do that like pick up hug and twirl around and just be very happy that she's safe.
Like, because I know that in actual game time it's only been like a few hours since they saw each other, but like for Vera and me it's been like over a month.
It's been weeks since we played together.
Roll to hug, please.
Vigor to the door.
Vigor for hug. Hijinks, I snap your back.
Oh my god.
Well, I feel like the hijinks would be like you don't intend to, but you crack her back in such a way that actually it's really good.
Oh, nice. I'll take it.
Where they're like, ow. Oh, wait, hang on, my posture.
Yeah, your wing is fixed. The twinge nerve is gone.
Oh my god.
Wow, guys, this has been a really good session.
This has been a very exciting game. I really enjoyed that. Once again, what a note to join back in on.
Oh my god, I know, right?
I did almost cry. I almost cried several times.
Many times. That little like baby hair appearing out of nowhere, they're like, "Where's my mommy?" I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta cry."
That was just cruel. Like genuinely, that was so mean.
I know. See if they got bait.
Baby.
Oh
And I think this is an important
Don't.
note for like narrative in terms of like the theory behind storytelling, behind being a narrator. I would not have guilted you guys about that if you had chosen to go after
Chipper.
After Chipper. Like I would have insinuated like, oh, you don't know who could have needed your help, but we'll never know. I wouldn't have been like, and baby's died. Like that would not have been.
Just a week later.
Yeah, like there's bones everywhere. I would not have done that because that's not the kind of story I want to tell. The story here we're telling is of people finding out that they can be heroes and of the power that they have inside themselves and little beasts in a massive world, and.
Not massacres and...
Yeah,
No.
crematorium, not quite. So it was more important about the rescue rather than the fact that they were in danger. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it would have been just as interesting and cool a story if you had gone after Chipper. Either way. But I love how everything turned out. It was really cool.
Yeah, I just really love that now we kind of have this thing of like, Lutzen needs, or maybe wants his beetle back. And it's like, let's embark on this adventure together. Or something. I don't know. If Fraser would like to play more or can play more. Anyway.
I would love to.
Yay!
Whether it be Lutzen or another, I would love to. This is so fun. In my head, I was just thinking, like, I know you said that's not the kind of story you want to tell, but if we flash over to, like, in my head, there's like a scene cut to Greer's story, and like finding the source of the fire and coming across this like burned burrow with like bones. Like that would be dark as hell.
Oh.
And then just like investigating like what was the size of them, what creature were they, how young or how old were they?
So like this is what I mean. Like that is an interesting story that we could tell, but what I would explicitly not do is as person to person, narrated player, make you feel guilty about that. We would probably have a discussion like, hey, I'm thinking about this. This is one of the consequences that would have fallen out of this. There is no guilt to be felt here. This is more about vengeance and exploring that side of the narrative. Having that Mulan moment where you find the little doll in the snow. But like,
my god,
that would be a conversation we have and a story we all embark on together. My role is to make sure we all feel like heroes and we come out feeling that we've just survived a forest fire, not that we've abandoned someone along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
but even
that's
then,
always
that could be really
appreciated.
cool. I mean, we
Yeah.
could still have, in other ways, that kind of narrative of that sort of Greer's
Dark
development as a
kind
story.
of,
And to be
yeah.
fair, Greer could have 2 other companions with her. 2 other, oh my god,
Yeah.
2
I mean,
other freaking bounty hunter Tanners. That could be cool.
yeah,
Oh my
Tanners,
God.
or I mean, it would also be interesting if it was just like other people from the Tusk Legion who like are specialists, like you know, like everybody's very unique.
Oh my god, what if
Because
someone
she
was
has-
playing, what was his name? The hedgehog. No, the mole.
Oh my god.
I was going to say I want to play Mole. I don't know why.
Hiccup!
Hiccup
I
the
love
mole!
Hiccup!
Oh!
Hiccup! I love Hiccup! I want to have more adventures with Hiccup.
Yeah.
I love it.
Guys,
so
we're giving
good.
away too much future story.
I know.
Oh,
we're
it's not giving it
way
away.
too-
It's always going to change and morph. But I think this is a great time to end the session. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Thank you so much for Roll20 for sponsoring us.
Thank you, Roll20.
Yes. I think the best way to end is to reintroduce ourselves, plug any social media, any shoop like that. So I'll start and we'll go down the little character list. I have been Brian, and I am continuing to be Brian. I use he, him pronouns. I run the entry-level tabletop role-playing publishing imprint, Dungeons on a Dime. You can find all of this cool stuff at doad.co.uk. And if you like the kind of storytelling we've been doing and want that for your own table, Vice and Virtue is going to be coming to Kickstarter in November. I'm just getting all of the little details figured out, but the budget is set. I'm writing, or I've finished pretty much the draft rules that you can also be able to read when the Kickstarter launches with my editor, Vi Huntsman, who I also did a cool interview with yesterday, so that'll be coming up soon. And yeah, there are some really cool projects coming. The future is going to be looking awesome. Thank you for listening. I'm going to pass you over to Ver to introduce themselves.
Hello, I have been a Ver, and I can't believe that Brian stole my goodbye quirk of I have been.
I don't know where it came from. I was like, I've heard this one before.
Yeah, it's the thing that I always say. I have been Ver. You can find me on social media, primarily Twitter, Verface at Twitter. You can also find me on Patreon under the same moniker of Verface. I am currently working on many comics, and I post works in progress as well as some previews of things there if you're interested in whatever tales I spout in my own time. And Brian, thank you very much for having me. This has been a wonderful reunion episode, so to say. It's only been a month, but it feels like it's been a century. And this has been a blast, and it's been wonderful to... Well, I've been actually playing for the first time with Fraser today, so Fraser, it's been wonderful to play with you. I'm very excited to continue this adventure next week.
It's been a pleasure.
And of course, Atlanta. Ah! I'm so sorry, again.
Okay, on that lovely scream, we're going to pass to Atlanta.
Hello, I am the human equivalent of a loud noise in the distance, named Atlanta.
Oh my god.
I have been playing Pip the Bat again, and you can find me on general social media, at Alpaca Scribbles on Twitter, at alpaca_scribbles on Instagram. You can find me on Patreon at Alpaca Scribbles. I am posting lots of doodly thingies over there. I'm here, I'm vibing, I'm doing art, and if you want to support me, great, but no pressure. And also, I agree with it's been too long.
It's been too long, but it's been great. It's been so high octane though. I still feeling so stressed from that game.
Oh my god, I know, right? But also, Fraser, it's such a joy to have you as Ludson as well, because I so enjoyed the 2 sessions that you and I had together, just kind of hanging out as a little bat, as a little rat team. That was really fun, and I'm just I am excited for where this is going now.
Yeah.
Even more so than I was before.
High energy, high stress.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay, and last but not least, we have Fraser.
Yes, hello. I am the eldritch being that takes the form of Fraser. At this point, I think we all just have to have one every episode, like
Yeah.
prepared. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at __Lostastronaut and on Instagram as _Lostastronaut. I really need to get those sorted and make them be the same thing, but we will see. Yeah, I'm an illustrator and things of such that I do drawing and storytelling and things. Yeah, this has been so fun. It's been great to play with both you, Ver, and Atlanta. It's been great to have like a little trio. I can't wait to see where this all goes.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I also just
And-
want to say, Fraser, I'm so sorry. I think I have been pronouncing your name wrong. I apologize because I've seen it in writing,
Don't
and
worry.
I think there's like a show or something called Fraser, and
There
I think my
is.
brain is just like, that's how you read that word in English.
All people
so
I
I do
know.
apologize. That is
It's okay.
my
It's
bad.
okay. All people I know who have a kind of Americanish accent always pronounce my name Fraser. Even my like current roommate or like flatmate I live with and have known for the last 4 years only started calling me Fraser until like last year. So it just
Well,
you know.
well,
it
I
just is
hope
the way
that my
it is.
track record will be much more well developed than that. I will keep in mind Fraser and
All right.
not look up your name anymore.
I have a thing I do, a quirk I'll call it, to make it sound positive, where I struggle with names, so I just mispronounce them in very strange ways, and I've been trying so hard not to be like Fraser. Because it's totally weird.
Honestly, if it starts with an F and ends with an I will probably like respond to it.
There are some
Very
interesting
true.
phrases that begin with F and end in so maybe not.
Oh yeah, maybe not. I'll take that back. I mean,
Anyway.
yeah, never mind.
I want to leave all of you with a scene that I had in my head that I was going to say at the end of the thing, but then I just got distracted because screaming, crying. You all sit down and are handed cups of water to just sort of drink and decompress from the intense stress you've been through. And Balthazar, you lay your hammer against a wall or kind of lean up against a wall where you've had the push mop to kind of get rid of some of the sparks and dirt, and you look up at the blackened banner of Blueberry Pond, and all that's left is maybe like a couple inches of fabric with the blueberry in the center embroidered, and below the banner falls to kind of charred and burnt, but it's so very clearly still the banner of Blueberry Pond. And on that note, we are gonna go. So thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Hope you have a lovely day, and see you next Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
See you next Wednesday, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.